charged, but prosecutors said that was a lie. U.S. Attorney Nicola T. Hanna said in a statement, this defendant was at the controls during hundreds of flights carrying innumerable passengers, undoubtedly under the influence of alcohol during many of those trips. Fortunately, he was finally caught and the risk to passengers was stopped. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. That's weusecoins.com. Reuters reports a federal judge on Friday rejected a last-ditch effort by gun control groups to block the Trump administration from allowing the public to download blueprints for 3D printable guns, declining to intervene just days before the designs are expected to go online. U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman in Austin, Texas, denied the request for an order by the Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence, Everytown for Gun Safety, and the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence at a hearing, saying he would state the reasons for his decision and a written order to follow. At the hearing, the judge said he was sympathetic to the gun control group's concerns, but questioned their legal standing to intervene in the case. The group sought to intervene following a June settlement between Defense Distributed and the U.S. government, allowing the company to legally publish gun blueprints online, something its website says it plans to do by August 1st. The government ordered the blueprints taken down in 2013, and Defense Distributed founder Cody Wilson sued in 2015, claiming his First and Second Amendment rights had been violated. The federal government had until recently argued the blueprints posed a national security risk. Gun control groups said there had been no explanation for the June settlement and the administration's abrupt reversal on the issue. Wilson, a self-declared anarchist, said in an online video that the blueprints had been downloaded more than 400,000 times before having been taken down in 2013. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after creating a profile on OkCupid.com, local man Malcolm Lighty, a person with severe psychological and emotional issues, told reporters he thought it was best to just never mention the fact there was something seriously wrong with him on the popular dating website.
The thing about online dating is you don't want to get too personal too quickly. Like, for example, how I'm a textbook narcissist with unresolved intimacy issues, or the fact that I have no sense of empathy. Nobody wants to hear about that. When you're making a first impression, it's important that you keep it casual and don't include too much information. You don't want to be talking about your inability to maintain a relationship because of a history of violent mood swings.
Lighty told reporters while his OkCupid profile includes extensive details about his favorite movies, love of cooking, and interest in cars, he thought he was, quote, just better off not mentioning the borderline personality disorder that makes it impossible for him to connect with another person on any kind of meaningful level.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you've reached the Saturday edition of the show. Woohoo! We're here live, as we always are, and of course, you can join us if you want to bring up whatever's on your mind. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And unlike most nights, we actually are starting the show with calls already on the board.
Wow, that's great.
So we will go straight to your calls and your thoughts. But coming up, there's apparently some fear-mongering going on in New Jersey. And Chris, you've got the story. It's about the potential legalization, or maybe decrim. I'm not sure what's on the table there.
We'll get into that.
Of cannabis.
Right.
And there's a new scare tactic that I got to say. I mean, I thought I'd heard it all.
I think this one's unique. I'd never heard this one.
So we're gonna get into that. What it is. What are the prohibitionists saying now to try to fend off what seems like almost inevitable legalization of cannabis at this point, because they really are just down to the desperate bottom of the barrel tactics.
Right. And people want it. This is not even a bipartisan issue anymore. This is broad support across the Democrats, the Republicans, libertarians, needless to say. But people are looking for this, and it's It's like you say, it's inevitable. It's just a matter of time.
So we'll get into that coming up here in moments. Your calls, your thoughts, of course, certainly welcome if you want to join us here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can also join us via Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And then there's also our Discord on-air call-in line room, where if you're in there, you're going to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. So you can join our Discord chat over at discord.lrn.fm. We start with Parker in Washington State. Parker, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Chris.
Greetings from the Apple capital of the world!
Well, greetings. What's on your mind tonight, Parker?
Not a whole lot. So, I assume that you guys have read The Constitution of No Authority by Lysander Spooner, right?
Most of our listeners probably have not, and I don't know if I've read the whole thing, but I've definitely read some of his works.
Yeah, I've got bits and pieces of that one.
That's fine. Well, in 1870, Massachusetts lawyer Lysander Spooner wrote a pamphlet called The Constitution of No Authority. This was part 6 of a series of pamphlets, but he only wrote parts 1, parts 2, and part 6. He was going to write parts 3, 4, and 5 later on, but he never apparently got around to that. He spent a lot of time spelling out in detail how and why the pretended or so-called representatives, your representatives, your senators, your presidents, etc., how they cannot, will not, and do not serve anyone or represent anyone but themselves.
And how could they?
Right.
How could they represent anybody but themselves?
Right. Now, that being said, I think that it is almost certainly a high likelihood that it is against the law to represent anyone against their will and without their consent.
Is it against the law?
know.
I mean, yeah. If you're not an authorized agent for somebody and you go around pretending to do things on their behalf, yeah, I would say that's fraud.
Fraud. Yep.
Right. Now, the idea that I have, because I did a keyword search on, forget the exact site, but it had the full text of the Constitution of No Authority, and I typed in representatives, and I copied and pasted the first section, and then every subsequent section that had mention of voting the Congress or representatives.
Okay.
And I basically made an abridged version of that.
Okay.
Now, the idea that I have is a simple one, but I don't know whether it would work or not. The idea is that I present the abridged version to some sort of elected official at the city or county level and basically tell them, look, you've been served. You have 72 hours to publicly resign for the following statements outlined in this pamphlet. If you don't, I will take you to third-party private arbitration where you are certain to lose.
Okay, so hold on. Wait a minute. So you want them to, let me see if I'm following you. You're going to take excerpts from Lysander Spooner, who is a writer from the late 1800s who wrote some really great essays and pamphlets on, and maybe a book. I don't know what all the hell he wrote, but he ran basically a competing service to the post office and wrote some really awesome essays that were essentially... He wrote some really awesome essays that essentially, stuck it to the government. Essentially said, we don't need this crap.
Right.
I don't consent, and I appreciate the viewpoint on that. So you want to take some excerpts from Lysander Spooner, you want to give it to a city councilor or a state representative, and then you want to tell them they have 72 hours to resign unless you're going, and if they don't, then you're going to take them to an arbitrator. On what basis would you be taking them to arbitration?
Well, the basis would be that they have been pretending to be my so-called representative or agent without my consent and against my will.
But you don't have but the arbitrator doesn't have any kind of power to hear those cases. You understand that, right? Like arbitration is a private service that is available to people in the marketplace who have a contract, basically.
Right.
And so if you have a contract with, let's say, a cell phone company or a landlord or something like that, which specifies that your contract is subject to arbitration rather than going to the court system, which is a way a lot of private contracts are written because the court system's so slow and expensive and just awful in general. So, you generally have to have a contract to go to an arbitrator in the world in which we live, and you don't. So you could try to take them to a government court, but that's not going to fly either.
I can't take them to the courts because the courts would lock me out of the courtroom. They
That's correct. They definitely would.
Yeah.
They definitely will. I mean, basically, you're going to get ignored. I mean, that's what's going to happen here. You're going to give this to the state representative. They're going to ignore you. And then if you tell them you're going to take them to arbitration, the arbitrator is going to ignore you. They're going to say, I'm sorry, you don't have a case here.
But with all that said, you're right on all counts.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to get ignored. But it doesn't mean it's not a worthwhile effort. I find it kind of intriguing, just the basis of what you said. Here's a very well-established libertarian mind in Spooner, and how does that actually apply to where we're at in today's government system? And is there a case to be made for fraud? So why not write a pamphlet? Why not take a lesson from Lysander Spooner and write pamphlets explaining why this whole thing's a fraud? And now
I don't have the eloquence to do what Lysander Spooner did. He's got this gravitas with his writing that
you just use gravitas. Come on, man.
Now, who would he give the pamphlets to, Chris, if he was going to write up these pamphlets?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can publish these days. Of course, I mean, all you need is a website. Number one, there's websites like Medium that anybody can write to and put stuff up there. And finally, you could actually monetize this by doing it as an ebook, an e-pamphlet on Amazon or something like that. I'm just spitballing, throwing out ideas here.
I have one idea that might work as sort of a plan B, which is if they will not resign in 72 hours for the reasons listed in the abridged version of the Constitution of No Authority, I could, theoretically speaking, take that to the Wenatchee World, which is my local paper, newspaper, and I could tell them, hey, I presented this to one of the county commissioners.
You could certainly write up an editorial piece for the newspaper and see if they'll publish it. Sometimes local papers are looking for interesting opinion pieces from their readers. That might be an option for you, Parker. Good luck. Thanks for the call tonight. Let us know how it goes if you decide to do that. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. We'll talk about sex toys coming up.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.Global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.Global. Drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.Global. That's AnyPay.Global.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will advance the decentralization of the Zencash network and ensure the utility not only of Zencash as a currency, but also the future services that will be layered in the infrastructure. Learn more at zencash.com.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the Crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The Crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
You can't win if you don't enter, and you actually can improve your chances of winning a prize drawing if you wrinkle up your entry blank. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com, and I speak from experience. Why this works: if they'll be spinning the drum before drawing, your entry blank will move around more than, and not adhere to, other perfectly flat entry blanks. And if they don't spin the drum and merely reach into a box full of other perfectly flat entry blanks, many of which are sticking together, yours will feel different to the person reaching in. When you win, act surprised. And if you're looking for work, this is a metaphor. For more tips on sticking out in a world where just too much blends into the blah, 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 hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want here. Coming up, we're going to tell you about the reefer madness that is happening down in New Jersey, where the prohibitionists are going crazy. They're getting desperate. They are lashing out against the idea of cannabis legalization with some of the most laughable and desperate tactics. Chris has that story. We're going to get into it coming up here in moments. But I do want you to know about AnyPay.global. If you are a cryptocurrency fan, and you also happen to be a manager or an owner of a retail establishment, you really need to look into AnyPay.global. If you've been wondering, how do you accept cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Dash or Bitcoin Cash or one of the Litecoin, for instance, there's several of them that you can accept through AnyPay.global. They make it so easy. And Chris, you know this. You use it in your store.
Put it this way. My girlfriend can successfully process transactions using AnyPay. And that is a first for crypto point-of-sale systems.
Meaning she has not been successful at any other point-of-sale system?
It's been very challenging over the years, let's just say that.
Yeah, so that's a real endorsement.
Yeah.
And it works so well. It's so easy. And really the most important part, besides the ease of the use for the cashier, it's super easy for them.
Yeah.
It's also really easy behind the scenes. There's the sign-up could not be simpler. In fact, I've even argued it's too simple.
Right.
Because it's so basic, they don't even check your email to make sure you made a mistake.
Right.
So if you make a mistake, you're screwed. So you got to make sure you sign up correctly over at AnyPay.global. But really, there's no checking. There's no forms to fill out. There's no government hoops to jump through. There's no application process. There's no approval process.
Nothing.
You just go, you open the account. If you've already got a tablet at your point of sale, you're already halfway done. You go to AnyPay.global, you create an account, you put your Bitcoin or your other crypto wallet addresses in their setup page, and then you load the app on the tablet. That's it.
So simple.
You're done. I mean, we're talking maybe 10 to 15 minutes total time if you if you don't already have like a crypto wallet, because then you'd have to download a crypto wallet. Anyway, super easy. Go to AnyPay.global. It really could not be any easier than what they've done there, and it's awesome, and it looks great, and it's super great to use at a point of sale. AnyPay.global. As we go to your calls, coming up, the the prohibitionist madness continuing in New Jersey. But first, we've got Matthew. He is in Louisiana and watching us on our webcam through cam.freetalklive.com. Hello, Matthew.
Or on YouTube. Hello,
Indeed.
how are you doing, Ian and Ian? Because according to Luke, everybody is Ian.
Well, there's a strong argument.
I listen to that guy, and I'm like, wow.
Okay, so you're referring to a guy, for our listeners who don't know who you're talking about, and they shouldn't, but listeners just tuning in here tonight, there have been a few, there's this one guy, there's a few people who have been calling the show over the last week or so, and one guy from Australia calling himself Luke, who is
So he claims
obsessed.
he's from Australia.
He's obsessed, basically, with me and the other hosts on the show. Anyway,
okay.
He's really upset. He believes we've said all kinds of things that we haven't actually said on the air, and believes he has proof that we've said those things. And whenever he provides the proof, we poke holes in it and show him that it's not true what he's saying. And he's just in some sort of crazy belief that it is true. And so even when you can prove that it's not, he just ignores it because it is cognitive dissonance for him. It would destroy his worldview.
Right.
And his worldview is that we're all a bunch of sick pedophiles, and that's his viewpoint. Anyway, go ahead with your thoughts.
The only thing I was thinking was about that guy was it sounds like the same sort of stuff that hounded Milo out of his job at Breitbart. And
This is Milo Yiannopoulos, who's an alt-right, like a gay alt-righter guy?
Yep.
Right. He's an interesting character. I highly recommend if you can get a hold of any of his earlier works when he was with Breitbart. I don't agree with everything he says, okay? I don't like fat shaming and some of the stuff he said, but the way he said it was just so funny.
Okay.
And so I'm like, Jeez and Pete, these people are nuts. But one of the things you were talking about, I think you were discussing Borat, or Sacha Baron Cohen,
the latest
doing
character.
this new thing.
Yes,
Right,
the guy
right.
who created Borat, the guy who created Ali G, Sacha Baron Cohen, is now doing a new series on Showtime, which I am in love with. I think it's fantastic. It's called Who is America, and it has aired 2 episodes so far. The 3rd episode will likely be aired tomorrow night. And if you enjoyed any of his previous work, you're going to love this. So, yeah, you definitely want to check it out. What's that have to do with the Australian guy?
Oh, no, absolutely nothing. This is a total divergence.
Gotcha.
But he was talking about, this poor guy with the Virginia Defense League who should have known better after their experience with Katie Couric. He should have known that anytime you do an interview or anytime you somebody says they want to interview, you always record the session.
Oh, to have your own version.
You have your own version.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's right.
And if they won't let you do that, that's a sign, look out, right? Like if you say, oh yeah, I'm happy to be interviewed by you, but I'm just going to have my own cameraman over here who's going to record the whole interview.
I trust you.
And if they say, well, no, we can't let you do that, then that's when you say, well, I guess you don't want to interview me that bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. But they tricked this guy into, guns for 3-year-olds. And so it caused me to think, to combine, people are always afraid that their children are going to be attacked by pedophiles. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, if they had a suitable weapon, they wouldn't be attacked by pedophiles. So what is a suitable weapon? I've got it.
For a 3-year-old?
Firmly planted in cheek.
Huh?
Yes. Tongue firmly planted in cheek, tell people.
Okay.
A 50 caliber Action Express in a Scadmium frame fired from a chest plate.
Okay. I got the visual there. Sure. Okay. So you just put that on your 3-year-old, and
right. And the
when bad uncle
recoil
comes to him,
will
sure.
cause your 3-year-old to disappear from the scene.
That's true. That is true.
They might even go
probably
faster than
break
light.
their entire body would be my guess. Anyway,
Well,
interesting
no, you
proposal.
have a plate to absorb the shock.
Right.
Sure, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to distribute a 50 cal through a 3-year-old's body.
It's a strange joke, but thank you for the call, Matthew. I don't know how to respond to it.
Yeah.
The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. He's referring to the skit, I guess you could say, that appeared in the first episode of the Who is America, which is the
I
new
haven't
Sacha.
watched it yet, but I will.
You really ought to.
I will.
The Sacha Baron Cohen show that airs on, again, as I said, Showtime on Sunday nights. The very first episode, they had this guy from the Virginia Defense League who, has been on television before. I think his name is Philip Van Cleve, if I'm not mistaken. And he was snookered into just going along with the most ridiculous skit, for lack of a better term, the most ridiculous video that they produced with him, where they have him holding guns with stuffed animals on, attached to the gun, and the whole thing was called the Kinderguardians. He was talking with this character who was Sacha Baron Cohen in a severe amount of facial makeup and latex. Who acted as though he was part of the Mossad and got him to, kind of do this video for small children and guns.
This is Jessica Armand, creator of the fluoride-free oral care brand, My Magic Mud. You're going to love our new products. Our cutting-edge oral rinses deeply soothe your mouth and fight cavities naturally. Our breath spray, My Magic Mist, will invigorate your senses with essential oils of peppermint and eucalyptus. Our clinically proven toothpaste and tooth powders whiten your teeth and detoxify your mouth. Buy discounted bundles direct at MyMagicMud.com and take 10% off with coupon code GCN10. MyMagicMud.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
Now, in the light, there was a being. He started to moonwalk.
Are you saying Michael Jackson has come back from the alien spaceships?
And he said, I am Michael Jackson.
See, I called it.
There we go.
You talk with God throughout your life. You heard this voice that you recognized as God telling you, do you believe in magic, inviting you to look out the window, where you then saw Michael Jackson coming down from a rainbow ray of light coming from the sky. So what happened then? Did he, invite you to his playland or whatever it is he has?
9 months later, the virgin birth happened again.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
A lot of things happened that night. He asked if he could resurrect himself inside of me. I'm like, yeah.
You called it. Did you have Michael Jackson's baby?
I had Michael Jackson.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free. You can bring up what you want. It's open phones, as always, here on the radio on our live Saturday edition of the program. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
Also, want to make sure that you know about Liberty.menu. It is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. If that describes you, then you really need to go to Liberty.menu and get signed up there. It's free to use. You can put up whatever thing that you do. If you have a business or more than one business, you're an entrepreneur, you want to put the things that you do up there for other libertarians to find out about your products and services so they might actually hire you to do whatever it is that you do. Go to Liberty.menu, get your items up there, get the things that you do listed. It's essentially, at its core, a business directory for libertarians. But it also has events listings and digital content for content creators. You can put your stuff up there too. So, plus there's a bit of a social network aspect to allow you to connect and share with others. You can, of course, rate and review those businesses that you have done business with. Go to Liberty.menu. And don't forget, you can use code FTL, like Free Talk Live, on your user profile to get a Free Talk Live listener badge over at Liberty.menu. Let's continue with your calls, your thoughts. We go to John. He's in Dover, Delaware, listening to WDOV. Hey, John.
Yeah, hey, guys.
Hey.
I just wanted to mention, I know you guys haven't hit the topic yet about the New Jersey marijuana deal.
Yep.
But I'm calling from, like you said, Dover, Delaware, and we actually just had it up for the first time this year to legalize it for recreational usage. And I'm pissed off because it missed by 2 votes, and I'm just wondering, like, who are these people that are voting against legalizing, marijuana for recreation? I mean, we're in Delaware. There's not really much going on, and I know a lot of people that smoke pot.
It's hard to count the people.
For the economy.
It's easier for me to count the people who don't smoke pot. Like there's so many people who smoke cannabis or eat it or, consume or in some way use cannabis, whether it be for medicinal or recreational purposes.
Or have in the past.
Or at some point in their lives.
1,000,000%. I even know people that don't smoke the marijuana itself, but there's a CBD joint up the road, and those guys are open for business, and they seem to be doing pretty good. So,
people swear by CBD.
Not everybody I know. There's very few people that don't smoke, but the reasons they don't smoke that I know of is because of their job.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm sure they'd be, recreationally using right alongside me.
Well, now to some extent, John, we all have our circles, right, that we run in. So it's probably more likely that we're more likely connected with the people who are open-minded on this subject. And maybe if you went into like some ultra-conservative church crowd, you would. I'm sure there are marijuana smokers there, but they wouldn't admit it to you. They'd be afraid of being found out, and so there's got to be these people exist, but we can't get them to call this show anymore. I mean, a decade ago we might have been able to.
Right.
Of course not. Yeah. They're not listening to the show, I'm sure.
Well, no, there are people listening out there. I mean, people like to listen to things they hate.
I know there are people listening, but the people that voted down this bill probably aren't listening. They're not the type of people that would be into the kind of programming that I believe I'm into.
Well, no, you have to understand about radio. People will listen to things they hate as well, just because they want to, they love to hate. So people.
You know what? That's a good point.
Yeah. People are listening. It's just they won't call in about it because the position they take is indefensible, and
they lose.
It's right. They're going to lose. They won't realize they're losing, but they must at some level understand that they're losing the fight overall. They got to see the writing on the wall. These are all desperate tactics to keep the inevitable from happening, and the inevitable is the legalization of cannabis.
Well, I think there was
100%.
probably a groundswell in their favor with the election of Trump. I think a lot of the older conservatives probably believed that Trump would put an end to this crazy talk about legalizing marijuana.
But Trump's on board with it.
Well, he is or he isn't. I mean, he appoints an attorney general in Jeff Sessions.
Well, that guy, is awful.
He's awful.
But at the same time,
totally
Trump
Trump
had indicated sometime this year that he had supported the idea of the federal government sort of defederalizing control over cannabis and leaving it to the states to decide.
I would wager some point during this year, Trump has said everything there is to say on every subject. So I'm not sure I'm tracking with you there.
Fair enough.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
John, anything else you want to share?
Fellas.
Thanks for the call
Nah,
tonight,
that's
man.
it, guys. You guys have a good night.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks, John.
Man.
John there in Dover. You can call in. You can bring up whatever you want. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Yeah, it's been hard to find somebody to call into the show and take on the position of, we ought to keep marijuana illegal.
Right. Or we need to make it even more illegal. Yeah, we need to start rolling this stuff back. Those people exist.
They do exist.
And I see them occasionally on Facebook. I run in probably a little slightly older generations than you do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean,
the boomers ought to know a thing or two about marijuana. They smoked it back in 1969 or whatever.
They learned what was evil about all that stuff. So they now tell their grandkids. Even regardless of what they did, so they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth, just like politicians do.
Let's get into the news since our caller there brought it up. Perfect excuse to jump into the story from New Jersey. Where's the news source on this?
This is coming from The Hill.
Okay.
And this is a New Jersey state lawmaker who is very scared that marijuana recreational legalization, which they are considering right now in New Jersey, may lead
and
to,
in many other states.
And many other states is...
what are they up to? 9 states now, I think, with Vermont coming on board? Because I think after the 2016 election, it hit 8 states where it was legalized through ballot measures. And
I'd have to do a count, but it just seems like it's...
Plus D.C., plus Guam, I think, as well.
But it's always in the news, and this state is getting close, or they're going to vote on it. So we're hearing this stuff all the time. But in this case, a New Jersey state senator is warning against products with marijuana, such as, quote, sex toys and oils, quote, that could be sold if the state decides to legalize recreational use of the substance. So,
sex toys.
Folks, you heard it here first. What? Yes, he is concerned. State Senator Ronald Rice told NJTV this week he believes marijuana is a gateway drug and claimed that when recreational marijuana is legalized, quote, the number of people who've never used any type of drugs goes up substantially in terms of drug use. If, in fact, we legalize recreational marijuana right across the street from my office, there's going to be put up stores, Rice told the outlet. They want to call them dispensaries. But they're going to be stores that do retail selling.
We should call them drug dens.
They're going to be stores that do retail, selling cupcakes with marijuana, candles with marijuana, sex toys and oils with marijuana.
My God.
Lipsticks with marijuana, all those kinds of products that kids can get and people can get.
Because kids can totally go into these stores and get whatever they want, right?
Yeah, let me just lean way over the counter to hand you your marijuana sex toy, little 3-year-old girl. In what world do these people live in?
The kid's going to come dragging his 50 cal in there, too, while he's at it.
Exactly. Rice has long opposed marijuana legalization, and is the leader of New Jersey's legislative Black Caucus.
Thank Goddess, we finally found somebody to actually take the position against legalization of cannabis.
There you go. He is the leader of New Jersey's legislative Black Caucus, which has similarly held up efforts to legalize the drug, according to NJTV. The New Jersey legislature is currently debating a recreational marijuana bill introduced by state senators Nicholas Scutari. Last month, NewJersey.com reported the state is debating various ways to handle the proposal. Assemblyman James Hawley, Democrat, who was part of the state legislation that traveled to Colorado to examine
what was
the state's...
I'm sorry, I missed the party of this guy, the main guy that we're talking about.
Democrat.
He's a Democrat. Okay.
Yes, he is a Democrat.
This is an anti-legalization Democrat.
You got it.
This guy, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. Like... I mean, look, I realize the Democrats are drug warriors too, right? The Republicans, the Democrats, they're all drug warriors. They all believe in, empowering the state. But you'd think a black representative from New Jersey would be in touch with, I don't know, more than a few constituents who've been abused by the war on drugs, and the war on marijuana.
One
you'd
would think. Yep, I agree.
But what? Welcome to politics. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I want to hear more from this guy. And the fear-mongering that marijuana is going to bring sex toys laced with marijuana?
You got it.
Is that
and
the idea?
Lipsticks, evidently.
All right, more coming up here. Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
Who told you can go this way? You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey.
Who do you think you are?
Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me.
You
What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Open phones, as always, here. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. The overarching topic tonight so far, cannabis legalization. and the ridiculous fear-mongering that is going on by one state representative in the state of New Jersey, trying to spread all kind of fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the potential legalization of a plant, a flowering plant that grows naturally and grows on its own, and that the government has been trying for decades to eradicate, and is just now finally, after however many damn decades it's been, it was the 30s when they first made it illegal, but after all these years, almost 100 of them, good 90, 80-something, 90 years of prohibition, we're starting to see a pullback. We're starting to see some legalization across the United States from the West Coast to the East Coast, not so much in the middle, but, we got California, Oregon, Colorado, Alaska, and then, of course, on the East Coast, or Nevada. Did I mention Nevada?
Forgot about that one.
And then also on the East Coast, of course, Washington, D.C., Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont just became the first state to do it through the legislative process, so that's noteworthy. And I said Massachusetts and Maine. I think that's pretty much all that we've got so far on the East Coast. Of course, then there's another 30-something states that have medicinal cannabis and have many of them for many years. So we're going to get back into some of the ridiculous claims here in a moment, but I also want to invite you to our Discord chat, which is a server on which you can chat with other Free Talk Live listeners who are there 24/7. There's people in there all the time.
All the time.
There's chat going on, probably more chat than you can keep up with, but it's a different channel. So you want to talk about cryptocurrency, you want to talk about gaming, there's different channels for that. And then there's the channel about Free Talk Live, where during the show you're going to find the most participation. So if you want to go and interact with some of the hosts, you and I are both in there regularly, Chris, and the listeners of the show, some of whom are regular callers, so you'll recognize them, over at discord.lrn.fm. There's an app you can download, of course, for computers and smartphones, but there's also a web version. So if you are anti-app or you just don't feel like it, you can do it on the web too. Go to discord.lrn.fm and that'll get you there. As we go to your calls and your thoughts, Willow is first up in Tennessee, listening to WGOW in Chattanooga. Hey, Willow.
It's actually Carl Billow.
I'm sorry, Billow?
That's okay, yeah. Billow.
Okay. You're on the air.
That's okay. It happens all the time.
No problem.
First thing I wanted to say was about the cannabis. They need to look at these states that have been doing this for a few years now and see how their books are, see how they're doing.
They're doing great.
I'm sure the politicians get in and mess it up somehow, but as for right now, it's running good.
Yeah, from what I heard out in Colorado, the revenue from... Now, I'm not in favor of taxes, but the reality is in order to get this stuff legalized, they're probably going to have to tax it. That's just the political reality.
Yeah, they got to get their...
But if you look at the revenues from the taxes... I believe that it wasn't long, maybe just 2 or 3 years into Colorado's legalization, that the tax revenue from cannabis exceeded the tax revenue from alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
nuts.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Different price point. Go ahead.
Yeah, my wife has stage 4 cancer, and we're giving her that OCD oil. We don't care what they say in the state.
CBD.
That's the one thing that helps her.
CBD.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's how much I know about it.
Yeah.
Man, people swear by the CBD stuff. I mean, I've had so many people, and you don't get high off of CBD. Go ahead.
I do the gummies because I'm on dialysis, and they help me go to sleep at night.
Wow, that's great.
I mean, how could anyone say anything back to a sick person who says, "Yeah, this helps me"?
The people that are saying it back is the pharmaceutical places. That's true.
Yeah. They're a strong lobby against cannabis. That's true, and that's because anybody can grow the stuff.
Yeah. And they're hugely moneyed.
The thing on Trump is, I'm tired of all these people talking trash about Trump. Until he screws up and they get proof, the actual proof, I'll be the first to oust him.
Well, I mean, he's screwed up in plenty of ways. I mean, there's all kinds of things that...
He'll never control his mouth. That's just not what happened. But the country's running about like gangbusters right now, you know?
Well, it is.
If not, then I'm going to stand. I got his back until it's not.
There are a lot of people that feel that way, and I understand that because
take over. It don't matter to me.
Yeah,
they really don't want Pence instead of Trump.
Well, go ahead, Chris. You're trying to get.
Okay, guys, I love you. I love y'all's show. I listen to it every Saturday and Sunday nights when I can.
Thanks. Well, I think Chris had a response for what you were saying.
You're turning me into a libertarian.
All right. Well, keep listening, and thank you for the call tonight. I will let you respond off the air, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I think a lot of people do feel that somehow Trump has turned everything around, and the country is now headed in a glorious direction towards the sunrise and everything's amazing.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not either.
It's propaganda.
And I follow some key economic indicators, and it's not just consumer feelings. I mean, you can look at those and you can see that there was definitely a Trump bump. Consumer confidence went way up and things like that. But, I see some of the actions that he's taking, and particularly in terms of international trade and tariffs, I think it's just an impending disaster. And he seems to be entangling us in more foreign issues than we've been entangled before.
Dude, last night we talked about the quote from Trump. This is as quoted by Reason.com, where he said if we didn't trade, we'd save a hell of a lot of money. He's talking about this nonsense, this economic BS called the trade deficit, which is just total propaganda designed to encourage people to believe in protectionism as though that's going to somehow help the United States, when in point of fact, it's actually going to hurt people.
And has historically throughout the years. You can look at several different decades where economic liberty was at an all-time low. Look at what happened in the 30s. Look at what happened in the 50s when we ran up these huge tariffs, against our trading partners. And after that, you had this period that lasted from somewhere in the 60s and 70s up to the 2000s of relatively free trade. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't mean that the government wasn't monkeying around, but our tariffs were lower than they had historically been in some of these really bad times. And I just you just have to leave things alone, and that just seems to be outside the concept of most politicians.
Well, last night, and again, if you really want to get into this topic of tariffs, we dug in deep on last night's show. So just go and download freetalklive.com, go download Friday night's show. But Daryl, one of our co-hosts on Friday night, gave a really great explanation of tariffs. Because when people hear about tariffs, they're like, yeah, stick it to them other countries, right? Like, if they put a tariff on X good, then we need to put the tariff on X good, which is what Trump is supposedly doing. But the reality of tariffs are, if Trump puts a tariff on something coming in from, let's say, Canada.
Yep, let's call it wood.
Whatever it is, it's the United States consumer who pays the tariff. Yes. It doesn't hurt Canada. It doesn't hurt the company in Canada. The company in Canada isn't paying the tariff. It's being collected by the U.S. government, and they're collecting it from people inside the United States, from the people who want to buy from Canada.
Small businesses, homeowners, yes, that is exactly what it means. Now,
so it's just extracting more tax money from the U.S. Victims in the United States.
The flawed economic theory is this is going to decrease the market of, let's say, wood from Canada, and then Canada begins to suffer. But for that to occur, you have to first exact your pound of flesh out of the U.S. taxpayer.
Right.
It's just asinine. And like I said, when you've got as long a history of this failing as you have marijuana prohibition failing. Both of them go back to the 30s, the Smoot-Hawley Acts and all that craziness. It's
basic
insane.
Economics.
It is.
But they don't teach that in school.
There's a reason.
And if they do teach it, it's the government-approved version of economics, which has all kinds of, confusion and intentional confusion, I think, built into it. Let's go to Kyle. He's in Indianapolis listening to WIBC. Hello, Kyle.
Hello.
Hey there. You're on the air.
No, this is Larry from Indianapolis.
Wow, they really screwed that one up, Larry. I don't know how they got Kyle out of your name.
You want me to go on?
You are on the air, Larry. Go right ahead.
Hey, look, with the marijuana deal, I think it's so funny. Our Attorney General, right? He's a colored boy. Well, he's out railing against
Jeff Sessions.
Or are you talking about the Attorney General in
I'm talking
Indiana?
about the state Attorney General.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As hell. He's out giving speeches and everything, railing against marijuana. It's a gateway drug, and we don't need it. If I catch anybody with, he was his former 28-year prosecutor too, and then he's out there railing. I'll rebuke anybody that tries to get marijuana in Indiana. So maybe a couple of weeks after that, he goes to a nightclub, drunk or inebriated. And he gets caught trying to stick his hand up 4 women's dress and the force and stuff on there.
Wait, now has he resigned?
It's Curtis Hill.
The governor, Yeah, they got a video of him doing it, right? so the governor.
Oh, it's so great.
But okay.
Larry, thank you. Thanks for the call, brother. I appreciate it, man. Great story about another hypocrite, scumbag politician trying to tell you he's better than you.
Right.
Nope. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live. Hour 2 next.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, July 28th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.50 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,223 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $31, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,177. Antiwar.com reports the July 1st ceasefire declared over the Yemeni port city of Hodeidah appears over, with Saudi-led forces carrying out a series of strikes across the city, including major airstrikes in the center of the city, doing major damage. Warplanes hit a plastic factory, an outdoor market, and a fishing pier in the city's center. Another strike targeted a Houthi military police camp in the city. There was substantial damage to buildings reported, but as yet no reports of casualties. During the ceasefire, Saudi-led forces attacked a series of towns further south of the port city, through which 70% of all food and humanitarian aid enters Yemen. The ceasefire was intended to give the UN time to negotiate a deal to prevent the city's invasion. Officials have yet to discuss what exactly happened and why the ceasefire ended. The UN has tried to get the Shiite Houthis to give the city to the UN, which they'd agreed to do. Saudi-backed Yemeni forces, however, objected to this plan, saying they'd only allow the UN to take the city if the rebel Houthis surrendered the entire rest of the country. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a former Alaska Airlines pilot began his one-year prison sentence this week after pleading guilty to flying while intoxicated. David Hans Arnsten of Newport Beach, California, had previously pled guilty to one felony count of operating a common carrier while under the influence. He will also pay a $10,000 fine as part of a plea deal he made with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Central District of California in February. In 2014, Arnsten flew a plane from Portland, Oregon to John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California. After landing, Alaska Airlines lines randomly selected him for a drug and alcohol test. Two breathalyzer tests showed he had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.134% and 0.142%. The plea agreement stated those percentages were well above the federal limit of 0.04% for pilots. At the time, Arnston said he had not been drinking and had only had a few sips of beer the night before the morning flight. The Orange County Register reported he also said he was taking antibiotics, but prosecutors said that was a lie. U.S. Attorney Nicola T. Hanna said in a statement, this defendant was at the controls during hundreds of flights carrying innumerable passengers, undoubtedly under the influence of alcohol during many of those trips. Fortunately, he was finally caught and the risk to passengers was stopped.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. That's weusecoins.com.
Reuters reports a federal judge on Friday rejected a last-ditch effort by gun control groups to block the Trump administration from allowing the public to download blueprints for 3D printable guns, declining to intervene just days before the designs are expected to go online. U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman in Austin, Texas, denied the request for an order by the Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence, Everytown for Gun Safety, and the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence at a hearing, saying he would state the reasons for his decision and a written order to follow. At the hearing, the judge said he was sympathetic to the gun control group's concerns, but questioned their legal standing to intervene in the case. The group sought to intervene following a June settlement between Defense Distributed and the U.S. government, allowing the company to legally publish gun blueprints online, something its website says it plans to do by August 1st. The government ordered the blueprints taken down in 2013, and Defense Distributed founder Cody Wilson sued in 2015, claiming his First and Second Amendment rights had been violated. The federal government had until recently argued the blueprints posed a national security risk. Gun control groups said there had been no explanation for the June settlement and the administration's abrupt reversal on the issue. Wilson, a self-declared anarchist, said in an online video that the blueprints had been downloaded more than 400,000 times before having been taken down in 2013. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
I recently signed up for one of these self-defense classes and brought along a camera crew to watch. Take a good look at this class instructor.
Thank you very much.
Boy, was he smooth. He tried to butter us up with flowery compliments like, good work, nice try.
Yeah.
But don't worry, folks, I wasn't letting my guard down for 1 second. Maybe he wasn't planning to attack me at all, but he could potentially plan to attack me at some point, and that left only one option. Take him out first. This is him. This is the guy. My quarry approached, and when the moment was right, I struck.
Oh!
I knew he'd be able to counter my every move if I just did what he had taught me, so instead, I did exactly the opposite. I beat him with a baseball bat. I am Shelby Cross! Do not ever attack me! Now, folks, I acknowledge that this man may have never been a threat, but a potential threat is just as dangerous as a real one. I don't play games with my life, and neither should you, and that's it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yep, it is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want as we launch here into the second hour of this live Saturday edition of the show. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. Skype username is lrn.fm. Plus, there's our Discord on-air call-in line room where you can sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us over at discord.lrn.fm. Just join that top room of all the different chat rooms. There's one room right at the top that's for on-air call-ins, so feel free to jump in that way. It's Ian and Chris here in the studio tonight, and we're going to get back into the story because I don't think we'd quite finished it. I don't know where we were at in it, Chris, but you had a story out of New Jersey about at least one state representative who is on the attack.
Absolutely.
Against the potential for legalization of cannabis. He is trotting out all of the prohibitionist lies. I'm expecting him to say that it's going to grow hair on your palms next. if you are smoking cannabis.
He's headed down that path, one could say.
He's really just going pretty desperate. We'll recap the story here for you in moments. But let's go to more of your calls and thoughts here. David is in New Mexico on Skype. Hello, David.
Hey, ironically, I got a story, or coincidentally, I got a story just like the last guy, and I was on hold before I heard him say it. There's a politician in the state of New Mexico, and everybody should do the easy thing on Google because it's worth your time. It's hilarious video from a cop's lapel camera of this state rep, New Mexico, Monica Youngblood. There's like an hour's worth of cop lapel camera. She got first of all, let me do a setup. She pushes really hard on what she calls crime, and some of them are real crimes, and other ones are in the area of overdoing it. But one of the things that she was pushing hard on bad guys is on DWI, which is not necessarily a laughing matter.
Let me guess.
Wanted. Yeah. You know where it's going, but you don't know the details.
I want to hear
it. So she tried to get a bill passed where people who refused breathalyzer test in the field, I don't remember what the penalty was, but it significantly increased the penalty for refusing to take a breath test.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so she goes through a checkpoint and is doing the field sobriety tests, and the video is hilarious. I don't even need to describe. I won't ruin it for you. Just go watch it. She does all of the classic things of trying to get out of a ticket, trying to get out of being arrested, and then she starts pulling rank. She drops little hints, or not even hints. She just flat out tells the cop that she's a legislator. And
Do
she fights
you
for those
know
guys.
who I am?
Exactly.
I'll have your badge.
She's all happy doing the field sobriety test, even though on the camera you can tell she's drunk, but she's all happy because she's thinking she's going to get out of it.
Yeah.
And then the second the cop breaks the news to her that she's under arrest, watch the whole damn thing change. Her demeanor changes.
Okay, David. I got to say, I just did a brief search and I pull up Google Images because I'm curious as to what she looks like, and there's obviously a bunch of pictures. They're just screen caps of her during this stop. Oh my God. I am looking forward to this video. I'm sure it's gone viral. I'm surprised that somebody hasn't dropped it to you, or you found it all on your own, because I've been sitting on this one for how long it's been, 6 months or 3 mons or 4 months. I don't remember.
Looks like some of the videos were hitting around May of this year.
Yeah. And that's the thing, when this happens at local government levels or state government levels, they don't often make national news because, honestly, there's so many of them. You just Google state rep DUI. How many hits do you think you get in 50 states? I mean, it's going to be a bunch.
There's at least one that got popped here in New Hampshire within the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He actually might be your state rep. He's at the very least for the sort of the western towns. I don't know if he goes all the way up to Alstead, but
yeah. Interesting.
There was one of them from this region. So give us a little bit more here. So this tough on crime, anti-DUI state rep gets pulled over. She gets tested. She's going through the battery of tests, figuring she can just drop her name and get out of this. And then she fails. And then how does her demeanor change? Does she get desperate? Does she beg? I mean, what does she do?
All of the above. All of it.
Accusatory.
Anybody
I'll have your job.
Anybody, all of the above.
Wow.
Anybody. I mean, she tries the female thing. She starts crying. Sorry, ladies, but she starts crying, and then she gets angry. She's that whole 7 stages of grief thing. She gets angry at one point, and tells the cop how she always fought for them to protect them, which she had done. She had tried to pass some bills to get the death penalty for cop killers and stuff, but yeah, it just goes through the whole range, and the video is it's well worth your time, even if you only watch a couple minutes of it. There's some, it's 43 minutes is the full thing, and various people have edited it down to 2-minute deals and 10-minute deals.
The highlights.
You watch,
the highlights.
Yeah. Watch the
Blooper reel.
real highlights if you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up during one of the breaks just to make sure she doesn't drop the F-bomb or something like that.
No, she doesn't. I don't. Well, actually, I guess there is one. She does use something you can't play. I think she uses the S word or something. I don't remember.
Gotcha.
One time. But if you it's entertaining enough. The video audio is entertaining enough that you can find excerpts in there to play. It's just hilarious listening to her.
Is she also like obviously slurring words and things like that?
According to the news stories, yes.
Yeah.
Well, to me, she is. Yes.
Yeah.
Fascinating. And so, what's going on with her case? Is she, taking a plea deal? Do you know? Have you been following the case?
I've been following it just by listening to the media, but
you got something here, Chris? You got something? An update
Yeah,
here?
Albuquerque Journal says, let's see, State Rep Monica Youngblood is set to go to trial before a Metropolitan Court
she's not
judge
taking a plea.
In late August. The three-term Republican lawmaker was in court Tuesday morning following her May 20 arrest at a sobriety checkpoint. She is facing one count of aggravated drunken driving. I'm not sure how.
Now, what's the difference?
How do you get to aggravated?
You get to aggravated. In this case, you get to aggravated under New Mexico statute if you refuse to do
there we go.
Yeah,
but
then you get aggravated.
But I thought you said she did take the tests.
No, she took the field sobriety test. What they do in New Mexico is they'll have you do all the physical tests first, and the last thing that they have you do is blow.
I see. So she refused at the very end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and in most states, that's just a reason to get your license suspended.
That's
Usually,
what they'll do,
they'll say that you
6
signed
months.
this. Driving is a privilege, and for the state to extend you that privilege, then you agree that you will always give a breath sample if asked by a police officer. Some states, it's even a blood test if demanded.
Great story, David. Thank you for the call
Appreciate
tonight.
it.
I love a good or a bad hypocritical politician. And it just seems so easy to catch these people.
God.
It's like whatever it is that their big thing is that they're pushing is almost always their vice or their obsession or whatever.
Yeah, how easy would it be to just be, I'm not going to say your job's easy, an investigative reporter covering the State House and just basically looking at this guy's coming down real hard on child trafficking.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go look in his
got a sex
basement.
slave in his basement, right?
Exactly. It's always going to be something like that.
All right, toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Let's talk to Chuck. He's in Indianapolis listening to WIBC-FM. Hey, Chuck. Hello? Chuck in Indianapolis.
Good.
Hey, yes, we've got you now. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make a quick phone call. Number one, I am no fan of Curtis Hill necessarily. However, there has not been a videotape released of the shenanigans that may or may not have gone on.
Okay, this is the Attorney General who allegedly molested 4 women or something like that?
Yeah, there's been, somebody, maybe he slapped somebody on the butt. He rubbed some woman's shoulders. They were calling that unwanted. But there's been no video yet. And I stay plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and I've been looking for it because everybody and anybody has been saying that he should resign. And at this point, he's not resigning. They have a special prosecutor who's going to come out.
Well, it's not like anything's going to be better if the dude resigns. He's just going to get replaced by another scumbag politician or, prosecutor.
And he may. And I don't necessarily want to call him a scumbag.
If he's a prosecutor for 28 years, Chuck, if he's been a prosecutor for 28 years, I guarantee you he is a piece of trash. Hang on, we'll bring you back. I know you called in about something else.
Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Oh, yeah, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free. Take control of the airwaves. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And, of course, you can bring up whatever you want. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
Want to make sure you know about the Blink Home Security System. It really doesn't get any easier to install than Blink. You go to blinkprotect.com, get your Blink Home Security System delivered to your home, unbox it, put the batteries in, and then put the cameras wherever you want them. And you set it all up within moments on your favorite Wi-Fi enabled device. It is that simple. I've been through the process. We've got it operating here at the Free Talk Live studio, and it could not be any simpler. Go to blinkprotect.com. You can get yours there, and it does work with Alexa, by the way. That's because Blink is an Amazon company. So you can go to blinkprotect.com, or you can go to amazon.com and search Blink Camera to get yours. As we continue here, unfortunately, Chuck just dropped off the line.
Ah, bummer.
I was going to go back to his call, and I'm not sure where he had called about marijuana, but never got to the point. So I'm not sure what we never got to the point of that. Anyway, let's try Dave. He's in Virginia, listening to WNIS. And by the way, if it was a technical reason why you get disconnected, then please call back. We want to hear from you. Normally, our rule is 1 call per night, but if you accidentally got disconnected, then no big deal. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
How you guys doing?
Hey, great. What's on your mind tonight?
So first, your comment earlier about how some people listen to you that don't agree with you at all because they hate you. or they hate the subject, or
Sure.
so on and so forth. I would say about 3/4 of the time disagree with you guys' end result of your thinking, but I agree with a lot of the principles that you say.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So, and I enjoy hearing other people's point of view. So I do
Indeed.
think that there's a lot of people out there that want to listen to you, not because they necessarily disagree with you, but because they want to hear somebody else's point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of what we do here is, we bring a different perspective to talk radio, one that is relatively unfound in the world of syndicated or even local talk radio, and get people thinking about things maybe from a different perspective, questioning their presumptions, questioning long-held beliefs. It's a bit of iconoclasm, the destruction of ideas. Anyway, go ahead with your thoughts, Dave. What were you calling about tonight?
Right. So to get to the point, I've always been against the personal use of marijuana for myself.
Okay.
But as a more conservative, and I don't mean Republican conservative, I mean traditionally conservative.
Sure.
I am for less government, less laws. Not so much as the libertarian concept, but there is I don't want to call it it might be a fear, but the lack of knowledge of how would cannabis being legalized on a recreational basis affect society as a whole. And I think that's one thing that is missing from anybody that's trying to push the legalization of marijuana, or at least taking the federal government out of it, is how do you control it so that it doesn't have a negative impact of all we'll just say, the older generation that has a fear of it. How do you keep it from people driving intoxicated, people going to work and operating heavy machinery? Like, what is the game plan that would happen if it was to be legalized? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well,
let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'd like to throw a question back to you.
Sure.
So, and you describe yourself as a conservative, more of a, I don't want to say socialist, but a traditional conservative. You have concerns and you kind of like things. I would say that to me, conservatism sometimes is about not rocking the boat, keeping it the way things have, quote, always been. But when we look at marijuana and marijuana usage, and we'll talk about recreational marijuana specifically, you have at least 5,000 years where the federal government in the United States was never involved in regulating marijuana. So I know we look at these parts of our history as if it's always been that way. But we're only going back to the Marijuana Acts of like 1934, which was in the height of a very progressive era in our history. That was when the government felt that it had to come down and stomp this evil thing out, and they demonized it, and they came up with all sorts of reasons, and they came up with all sorts of allies in the drug companies that were coming of age then. So I guess my question would simply be is, why do you think that it could not just happen and it would be back to the way it was in everywhere from the time of Jesus to the 1930s when we had reefer madness? What would be different?
Well, the way I would think about it is prohibition in this country only lasted for so many years on alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it was prohibited for 70, 80 years, 88 years, introducing it back into society, you would definitely have an impact, and you'd want to lessen any negative impact from that transitional period, where you didn't have to worry about people driving drunk in the past because it was prohibited completely, or at least the risk was much less. Now you would if...
Would it?
You didn't have to worry about people driving drunk? At what point did you not have to worry about that?
Well, I'm not saying you wouldn't have to worry about it. I'm saying that if it wasn't if something is completely prohibited,
right,
it certainly isn't as common, and people are going to hide it, and you're not going to see it as prevalent in society. Once it becomes more prevalent, there's going to be an impact.
Yeah.
You know, they had all kinds of underground consumption of alcohol during Prohibition, right? Like they had things called speakeasies.
Sure.
And there was a tremendous amount of smuggling going on. People would drink it out of coffee cups to make it look like they weren't drinking alcohol.
The Kennedys got rich off of it.
People were making bathtub gin and going blind. I mean, there was all kinds of problems.
But I think another example might be a good one, and that might be the example of Portugal. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with what Portugal has done with drugs, and this has been over the last 10, 15 years. I'm trying to think.
It's at least 15 years now.
Yeah. So Portugal had a horrible drug problem, not unlike the United States, and opioids and all sorts of things. And they finally said, you know what? Everybody else is trying everything else. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to decriminalize all drug use. So nationally, they decriminalized everything, and a lot of countries, the United States especially, said this is going to be a horrible mistake. Your drug use is going to go through the roof, and everything's going to happen. But now we can look back at that and realize that drug use actually went down. The number of overdoses has gone down. The amount of crime related to drug activity has gone down. It's statistic after statistic. So I think it's important when we talk about the potential for mass legalization in the United States to look at real world examples. So again, the two I fall back to are, the eons before the FDA, and we had this federal regulation.
Where you could go and buy heroin all the time you want.
Yeah, you could go to a drugstore and buy some heroin, or you can look at a more modern example, which is post-prohibition Portugal. So
you can look at more modern examples too in the United States now that we actually have post-prohibition, Oregon, Washington. But there was an aspect of this I wanted to address. Dave, if you've got time, stick with us.
Stick around.
We're going to bring you back here.
Sure.
So more with Dave here, because he's asking good questions. And I wanted to talk about the fear, because he did touch on fear.
Yeah.
And fear frequently does come from ignorance. And so I want to clear some of that up here if we possibly can.
Sure.
855-450-FREE is the toll-free number here, 855-450-3733.
This is Jessica Armand, founder of My Magic Mud. Our team helped organize a successful effort to remove fluoride from our city's water supply. This is our passion. My Magic Mud Oral Care purifies and brightens your smile naturally. GCN listeners, please support my family business by purchasing our products from your local health food store. We're also available at CVS Pharmacy, or visit us at mymagicmud.com and take 10% off now with coupon code GCN10.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype. Skype username, LRN.FM. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
We've also got our Discord on-air call-in line room over at discord.lrn.fm, so jump on in there, and you can sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. I do want you to know about Zencash. It is a cryptocurrency, and there are a lot of cryptocurrencies out there in the world, so why should you care about this one? Well, first of all, it was founded by voluntarists, people who actually believe in liberty and economics, good economics, and understand freedom. That alone is worth looking at Zencash for. But also, they got some great technology. In fact, some of the best privacy tech out there, zero knowledge anonymity, is built right into Zencash, which is awesome. And they're working on decentralized autonomous organizations to sort of govern the Zencash currency. They, as I understand it, just launched their super nodes, and they've already had the secure nodes, which they've got over 13,000 of those. And they are right now neck and neck with Ethereum, the number 2 crypto in the world. Zencash is neck and neck. It's like, going back and forth between which one of them is the top crypto as far as the strength of its network, how many nodes are making up its decentralized network. So it's a lot of cool things happening with Zencash. They've got a wallet available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. And of course, it's also one of the cryptos in your Koinomi wallet if you already have that one. Go to zencash.com, learn more about it. You can read the white paper there, which actually talks about voluntarism right there in the white paper. It's one of the more exciting cryptos out there, especially for those of us who understand and appreciate the ideas of liberty and privacy. So check it out at zencash.com. As we go back to Dave in Virginia, listening to WNIS. Dave, you're back with us. Are you there?
I'm here.
All right. So you'd called in about cannabis and legalization of it, and you said that you take a conservative, or what you consider to be a conservative view, although, Chris, you sort of batted that back and said, well, hey, if conservatives are the way things were, then let's go back to the way things were, which was prior to the 1930s when cannabis was legal everywhere.
And I don't want to have a discussion where I'm just trying to counter every one of your arguments. I'm just offering you a different point of view.
I was just doing a quick recap there because I wanted to get into sort of dispersing some of the ignorance that surrounds this particular topic, because your concern, Dave, was about, you mentioned specifically driving. People, what will happen if cannabis is legalized? What about people driving? What about people operating heavy machinery at work? Those are two of the examples that you brought up, and those are legitimate concerns. Your concern also was, well, it's been illegal for 80 plus years. What about reintroducing it? Isn't that going to cause problems? And so I wanted to address that and specifically say, you're not reintroducing anything, number one. Just because you legalize a thing doesn't mean that there's all of a sudden going to be a rush of people out there who've been just waiting, The amount of people out there in our listening audience or anywhere in the United States who've been holding off for their entire adult lives. Oh, I don't know if I should try that marijuana that you're offering me because it's illegal. I don't think I should do that. I mean, what portion of people are actually just out there waiting for the moment when it becomes legal where they can finally legally do this thing? No, everybody who's ever wanted to try cannabis has been offered it and tried it by
Probably.
now. Right?
And
So-
it's the same example would be if they legalized heroin tomorrow. Would
you go out and do it?
God, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
So the people who want heroin have already gotten their heroin, and they're using it. If you legalize heroin, that just means that the heroin users can go and get their supply without having to hold up a convenience store or stick a knife in your back as you're walking down the street or break into your car and steal your car stereo. They would be able to afford their habit. So you're not going to reintroduce anything into society. All you're going to do is legalize what's already happening. There are already people right now in Virginia, where you live, who are driving stoned. There are already people who are doing it all day, all night long. And in fact, when you actually look at the statistics, you look at I think it was the Australian Department of Transportation, it's been done elsewhere, but when they actually study the cannabis user and their driving ability, what they find out is that I think a lot of people presume that cannabis is just like alcohol, or if you've never done it, you don't know what it's like, right? So they presume that it would be impairing you in a similar way. When in point of fact, the cannabis users are aware of if they are impaired, they're aware of it. And we've all seen the drunk guy, right? One of your buddies at some party who's like, "Give me my keys. I'm gonna drive. I'm fine. I'm fine, officer."
I've been that guy in both situations.
Right?
Yeah.
And this guy is drunk as a skunk, but he's convinced he's totally fine. She's going to drive home. We've all seen that happen. Cannabis user, they know if they're impaired, and they're going to either not drive at all, or they're going to, at the very least, change how they drive even more cautiously in order to sort of try to compensate for that impairment. So what they actually found was that cannabis users were statistically about on par, or sometimes, in some studies, a little safer of drivers than non-stoned, just sort of normal drivers. So there's really not much evidence to suggest that driving while on cannabis is in any way increasing danger to anybody.
But I understand David's point of view, too. I mean, it's... And you're going to hear some things.
Well, it's scary. You don't know.
I know. And I threw out some stuff about Portugal, and we talked a little bit about history and the history of marijuana laws and history of prohibition. But again, nobody's mind is going to be changed because they heard a couple guys on the radio.
Of course not.
What we do hope you do is maybe look into some of these things and consider them. I mean, I am... I spent 30 years as a neoconservative. I mean, I was active in the Republican Party when Reagan was elected, and
your former military.
Former military, yeah. I mean, it's just sort of who I am, and it took me an awfully long time to have. I guess it was really the courage to question what I had come to believe as absolute truth. At at the age of 45, 50 years old, that's tough. It's a tough nut to swallow, but I hope you do. I hope you do consider some of these things.
Well, let me address the heavy machinery, too, at work for a moment, if we could. So first of all, workplaces, they have insurance policies, and they're not going to get insured if their workers are, operating a forklift or whatever while high.
And they're probably not going to get insured unless they have a policy that says, now that marijuana is legal in the state, you will have a policy that says you still get pee tested.
And usually the tests, of course, happen when an incident happens. Sometimes they're random, but if somebody F's up on the forklift and they test, and then they test positive for drugs, then they're fired, right? Like that's the end of that story. It's over. And again, these are things that already happen today. So what I'm telling you is you're not going to see a marked increase in any of these things, driving while stoned or operating heavy machinery while stoned, because the people who are already doing those things are just going to be legal users of that product. But that doesn't mean that it's okay all of a sudden to get behind the wheel and, careen around the roads. That's still a crime, to drive dangerously.
And whether it's a crime or not, it's irresponsible.
Sure.
You can, if you are so high that you don't think you can drive, then don't drive.
Right.
If you are so drunk that you don't think you can drive, don't drive.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Dave, so there you've heard a little bit there. I'm trying my best to answer your specific requests. Your thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, first I want to say I wasn't saying that I'm completely against it by any means. As far as the traditional conservative thing goes,
I understand.
I am saying that I'm conservative before the prohibition of of marijuana and other drugs.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do understand the viewpoint that you pointed out earlier of somebody like the head of the Black Caucus, the Democrat in, I think it was New Jersey, that said, everybody's going to go out and start doing it or not. So I was more interested in knowing what would be your response to somebody that does have a complete lack of knowledge. And you did a great job of explaining that.
Yeah.
I would just ask, how would you go in a political way of, if you were to present this politically to, I don't know, the Republican Party would be the most likely one, how would you say, hey, this is the positives, and this is what we should expect to see, and this is why you don't need to be afraid?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
How do you present this to Republicans?
I think now we're starting to get enough real-world examples that we could point to some here in the United States and look at Washington State, look at Colorado, and say, here in Indiana or wherever it happens to be, probably won't be that much different.
Well, and prohibition doesn't work. And let's talk a little bit further.
Right.
Dave, thanks for the call tonight.
Appreciate
We'll
it.
address the question coming up here in moments. I appreciate hearing from you. How to present this issue, because there's different ways to couch ending the war on drugs depending on who your audience is. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You open up your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Visit blinkprotect.com. blinkprotect.com to get your Blink home security system, or go to amazon.com and search Blink camera. Blink is an Amazon company.
Broadcasting to over 1,000 radio stations, GCN programming is in all of the largest markets. A GCN advertising career could be the business opportunity you've been waiting for. Companies need hardworking representatives just like you to handle their needs, while you earn residual income which can last for years. Companies are buying and they need you. Email advertise@gcnlive.com or call 877-996-4327. That's 877-996-4327.
Hi, I'm Patrick Colbeck, and I'm running for governor. Time for some straight talk. I'm pro-God, pro-family, pro-life, and pro-constitutional carry. As an aerospace engineer, I like to fix things. We need to fix our roads, our schools, our auto insurance, our health care, and our tax policy. That's exactly what I will do if you elect me as your next governor. Principled Solutions prioritize your best interests, not lobbyists. Paid for by Patrick Colbeck for governor.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You're here with us on the live Saturday edition of the program. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And I want to make sure you're invited to our website over at freetalklive.com, where you can watch us live during the show. And you can watch us later on if you want. One of our callers earlier was watching us on YouTube. That's the standard resolution version of the show. Mm-hmm. You can, actually a little lower than standard, it's 360p on YouTube. You get 720p HD quality if you're watching us on our Twitch channel, which normally, if you've heard of Twitch, you probably know it's mostly gamers. Twitch is almost all, like 99% of their programming is people playing video games. But they added a talk shows category a little while back, and we actually were rudely booted off of YouTube earlier this year during one of our live streams, and YouTube refused to explain why. So we looked for other options, and Twitch is a damn good live streaming platform.
It really is.
So that's where our primary video feed is. If you haven't seen our Twitch channel yet, then jump on over to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. That'll take you right to our Twitch page, our channel page, and then you can learn about how if you've got Amazon Prime that you can actually give us your free Twitch subscription that you get every month. You probably didn't know that, but you get one of those if you're an Amazon Prime user. And if you're not using it, then Amazon just keeps that money. If you use it, then they send us a couple bucks to LRN.FM in that month. But it's something you have to do every single month, so there's a little bit of an upkeep task involved in sort of helping us out on Twitch. But you can also follow us on Twitch. That's the easiest thing to do. So go to twitch.lrn.fm. Once you log in with your account, you can hit the follow link, and then you'll get notices every time we go live. If you've got your email notices turned on, or if you've got the Twitch app on your phone, it'll ding you whenever it is we go live. And it's nice to get that little reminder. Mm-hmm. Plus, Twitch has its own chat room, although it's nowhere near as busy as our Discord chat. So go and check out our Twitch channel at twitch.lrn.fm. I think we're getting closer to 400 followers. You know, it's hard for us, Chris, even though we're a nationally syndicated talk show. You know, we're not gamers. I mean, I like to play games, but I don't have, you know, it's not the majority of our content on the channel. It's talk show stuff, and we're not totally hot chicks doing the show either, and that helps. If you're a gamer and you happen to be a babe, then it's like instant
a million
followers.
viewers.
Instant viewers, instant money.
Done.
But check it out over at twitch.lrn.fm. It's a great way to watch the shows. We continue with your calls and thoughts. We've been talking about cannabis and prohibition. Oh, and we did say we were going to answer the question about how to explain, for Dave, who was on the line, asking some really good questions as a self-described conservative. How do you describe, or how do you explain, you know, to a Republican, how to end? Why should they support ending prohibition on cannabis? I mean, I would explain it just on ending prohibition across the board, why they should support that, because the reasons are all the same, ultimately, whether you're talking about cannabis or whether you're talking about the harder drugs. But
yeah,
you want to take a crack at it?
Well, no, I was just going to point out the problem I see dealing with Republicans, and I'm going to say Republicans and not conservatives, even though I'm kind of splitting hairs here, but today's Republicans talk a lot about true conservative values, or what they believe are true conservative values. But when you ask them to describe what are true conservative values, they basically give you definitions of classical liberalism, which is basically libertarianism light, and the idea that government should be very small and you know, stay out of our lives. But then when we press them on issues, then they go the other direction, and they
throw
become
them druggies in jail.
Right, and then they become very big government. So you know, if you are a Republican,
you know how much it costs to put somebody in a jail cell?
More than it's worth.
So that's one of the ways you want to come at it, is from the cost perspective.
Economics, sure.
Right, because a conservative or a Republican purportedly, if they are truly somebody who believes in smaller government,
right,
and many of them aren't, but if they actually are, and of course there's a difference between sort of the rank and file Republicans and the politicians.
And leadership.
So we're talking to normal Republicans, not the ones that are in political office.
Sure.
You can't convince those people of anything. But the normal rank and file, look at the numbers. Look at the billions of dollars spent by just the federal government alone, let alone your state governments. Look at the money and the time that has been, the police time that has been wasted on this absolute failed war on drugs. I mean, anybody who looks at this situation must acknowledge that it is an abject failure. Because if your goal was to stop people from using cannabis or to stop people from using fill in the blank, alcohol, heroin, whatever, it fails. Fails.
You've had 90 years.
Right.
And in the last 30 or 40 years, you've had virtually unlimited budgets. You have fought the drug war on different continents. You have involved our military. You have thrown dollars at it from the local level to the federal level. Nothing works. You have not moved the needle of usage.
Not at all.
As a percentage of the population, one iota. Nothing.
Not only that, you've created the opposite of your intentions. Like during alcohol prohibition,
right,
back when it became illegal to move any amount of alcohol around, to create or to possess or to transport any amount of alcohol. If you're going to move alcohol, then it makes more sense, if you only have so much room in the back of your truck, it makes more sense to fill that truck with the hardest, heaviest alcohol you possibly can. Because if you just got beer, then you're not making as much,
not much cash in
more.
that.
You can make more off of the heavier stuff. And so the same thing's true, crack cocaine. When did that come about? When the government was cracking down on cocaine during the 1980s. Crack cocaine had its heyday back then because it was a more concentrated, more sort of intense version of the same thing. And, you can look at that. That's the case when it comes to other things like speed or whatever. So, cracking down on drug use, okay, yeah, you might have stopped a little bit of cocaine temporarily, but it just moves over into something else, or some other person comes in to fill the marketplace. Because once you bust a drug dealer, it's just a market opportunity for somebody else to fill his shoes. Unless you can end the demand for drugs, you'll never end the supply. And as long as people are unhappy with their lives, you're never going to end the demand for drugs.
Correct.
Ever.
And that is such a huge driver. Human happiness is one of the biggest reasons why some people become addicted and some people don't. There's study after study that says this, and this also correlates directly to just average usage. People that are happier in their lives tend to drink less. They tend to do less drugs and things like that. So, it's just one of those things. And if you're professing, conservative ideas out of one side of your mouth, but calling for bigger government on the other side, then you just need to have a conversation with your conscience and say, what am I? Am I being honest with myself, or am I really a big government progressive? The very thing that I say is my mortal enemy. Is that really what I've turned into?
Become. Let's go to Pat. He's on the line, waiting patiently in Michigan, listening to WZTK up on the FM band in Alpena. Go ahead, Pat.
How you doing?
Hey, you're on the air. Doing great.
Recently, we had a petition go on and got marijuana to be put on the ballot, or you had the legislation to act in 40 days.
Okay.
They used a big political thing on it. The parties were separated. The Democrats are wanting to hold out for votes and all that. And what it is, to me, is the parties are so separated right now, bipartisanship doesn't even exist. And you look at all these other states, and the income revenue that's coming in is helping these states.
There's big money.
It's big bucks.
Big
no argument.
Tax dollars are being collected in Colorado and Washington, and inevitably in these other states as well.
Yeah. And, why can't people work together on something like that? And it just shows that the parties don't work together. They don't want to agree.
Yeah, I hate to sound cynical, but when we start to leave aside the moral issues about legalization and things like that, and we move it to the political, I just have to wonder which side is being propped up by Big Pharma? You know, where are the campaign contributions?
Big Pharma's going
flowing?
to prop up anybody that'll take money. They don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
Yeah, I get it, but those are the questions I ask, and it's basically into everyone who professes to be a conservative, small government minded politician. How do you account for these votes that they're calling on, doubling the size of money to go to law enforcement to fight, quote unquote, the war on drugs? And it just doesn't ring true. And I see the same thing on the Democrat side. So I think that money in politics probably has more to do with bipartisanship, the lack of bipartisanship or working together than anything else.
Pat, any other thoughts you want to share? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I noticed around up here compared to south part of the state, if you get pulled over for marijuana and you get caught with marijuana downstate, they just issue a citation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It clogs up the dockets and everything down there. Up here, you can be guilty, they'll arrest you, and you'll get 93 days in jail.
Jesus.
Wow. It's wrong.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And that's another point and thanks, Pat, for the call. I appreciate hearing from you. Another point to the conservatives that are concerned with how money's being spent. Wouldn't you rather have the police spending time and resources going after actual crime where, people are getting robbed or beaten or, murdered or raped? I mean, I don't know about you. I would like that. We're coming up. Free Talk Live.
Long-distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Get relief for your neck or back pain when you search Amazon for Sunshine Pillows, heating wraps, and pads, often listed as an Amazon choice.
Why take another pill?
Now, from Sunny Bay and by customer demand, we introduce our extra long neck heating wrap, a complete wrap, wide and hands-free, and brings fast relief to those who suffer from neck or back pain.
You can easily find Sunshine Pillows on Amazon.
Or search Amazon for our new Sunny Bay disposable heat pads. Or look for Sunny Bay heated neck wraps for relief from back pain to menstrual pain and cramps.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
See why our company, Biomed DB Design, has a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. Just go to Amazon.com and search Sunny Bay, or call us 253-678-1361.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, July 28th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.50 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,223 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $31, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,177. Antiwar.com reports the July 1st ceasefire declared over the Yemeni port city of Hodeidah appears over, with Saudi-led forces carrying out a series of strikes across the city, including major airstrikes in the center of the city, doing major damage. Warplanes hit a plastic factory, an outdoor market, and a fishing pier in the city's center. Another strike targeted a Houthi military police camp in the city. There was substantial damage to buildings reported, but as yet no reports of casualties. During the ceasefire, Saudi-led forces attacked a series of towns further south of the port city, through which 70% of all food and humanitarian aid enters Yemen. The ceasefire was intended to give the UN time to negotiate a deal to prevent the city's invasion. Officials have yet to discuss what exactly happened and why the ceasefire ended. The UN has tried to get the Shiite Houthis to give the city to the UN, which they'd agreed to do. Saudi-backed Yemeni forces, however, objected to this plan, saying they'd only allow the UN to take the city if the rebel Houthis surrendered the entire rest of the country.
You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com.
UPI reports a former Alaska Airlines pilot began his one-year prison sentence this week after pleading guilty to flying while intoxicated. David Hans Arnsten of Newport Beach, California, had previously pled guilty to one felony count of operating a common carrier while under the influence. He will also pay a $10,000 fine as part of a plea deal he made with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Central District of California in February. In 2014, Arnsten flew a plane from Portland, Oregon to John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California. After landing, Alaska Airlines randomly selected him for a drug and alcohol test. Two breathalyzer tests showed he had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.134% and 0.142%. The plea agreement stated those percentages were well above the federal limit of 0.04% for pilots. At the time, Arnsten said he had not been drinking and had only had a few sips of beer the night before the morning flight. The Orange County Register reported he also said he was taking antibiotics, but prosecutors said that was a lie. U.S. Attorney Nicola T. Hanna said in a statement, "This defendant was at the controls during hundreds of flights carrying innumerable passengers, undoubtedly under the influence of alcohol during many of those trips. Fortunately, he was finally caught and the risk to passengers was stopped."
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. That's weusecoins.com.
Reuters reports a federal judge on Friday rejected a last-ditch effort by gun control groups to block the Trump administration from allowing the public to download blueprints for 3D printable guns, declining to intervene just days before the designs are expected to go online. U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman in Austin, Texas, denied the request for an order by the Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence, Everytown for Gun Safety, and the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence at a hearing, saying he would state the reasons for his decision and a written order to follow. At the hearing, the judge said he was sympathetic to the gun control group's concerns, but questioned their legal standing to intervene in the case. The group sought to intervene following a June settlement between Defense Distributed and the U.S. government, allowing the company to legally publish gun blueprints online, something its website says it plans to do by August 1st. The government ordered the blueprints taken down in 2013, and Defense Distributed founder Cody Wilson sued in 2015, claiming his First and Second Amendment rights had been violated. The federal government had until recently argued the blueprints posed a national security risk. Gun control groups said there had been no explanation for the June settlement and the administration's abrupt reversal on the issue. Wilson, a self-declared anarchist, said in an online video that the blueprints had been downloaded more than 400,000 times before having been taken down in 2013. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Well, it's the end of an era and the beginning of a new one.
Today, Pennington's black part of town moved across the river to North Pennington. The Thompson family sold their home on the east side and moved to the old Kirkland Place at 17 Mansfield Place, establishing the all-new black neighborhood. Northside residents are looking forward to the infusion of fun and funk that the new black part of town is sure to bring to their area. Mayor Mitzi Kranowitz presided over the dedication of the new black neighborhood, unveiling a sign designating it a landmark district.
It's lovely, everyone. Pennington's diversity is its strength, whether it's Little Harlem or the so-called Gayborhood, where Paul and his partner Bryant have that cottage.
Sheriff Stevens today announced that the heavy round-the-clock patrols that helped make the old Thompson house one of the safest neighborhoods in town will move with them.
This has nothing to do with the black part of town moving here. We just want to make sure that everyone here has a comfortable place to live.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited if you want to join us on the radio as we launch here into the third hour of the program. This is the live Saturday edition of the show. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
We've got Skype if you want to Skype in at username lrn.fm. In fact, we're going to go to that here shortly. Also, our Discord on-air call-in line room is available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. Plus, the toll-free number, of course, 855 450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. For those of you just tuning in, it has been mostly a conversation tonight about cannabis and the insane war on drugs and the insane drug warriors, one specifically that started this whole conversation in New Jersey, who is trotting out some of the most ridiculous fear, uncertainty, and doubt. He's fear-mongering.
Well, is it really that unfounded? I've done a little bit of research, and it turns out there are actual sex toys that have been impregnated with marijuana.
Well, that was what he was saying.
Is various uses.
If New Jersey legalizes marijuana, then all these terrible things will happen, like sex toys, apparently, with cannabis infused. So we'll talk more about him in a moment. But that sparked a bunch of your calls and thoughts. So let's go back to you, because that's what's most interesting to us here. Let's start out with Bob in South Carolina, listening to WRNN. Hello, Bob.
Hi, guys. Great show.
Thanks. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I was just wondering, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Good question.
We didn't make these laws before the problems started. We made the laws after the problems began.
Which problems?
And
which laws?
The drunken driving under the influence. Truck drivers can't drive after a certain amount of time because they were falling asleep at the wheel.
Right.
So we had to make a law. Yeah, you understand? It's just that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm saying we're not making the law before the problem.
Well, politicians are always reactionary, and most of the time the laws don't really actually do anything except inconvenience people and put people through having to jump through unnecessary hoops.
Yeah, and it sounds like, well, you have some familiarity with truck drivers. I mean, ask 100 of them how many have ever doctored their logbook, or fudged a number or something like that. So I understand the point. What I think the real issue is the knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people have is to, when there's a problem, let's say it's, a truck driver falls asleep and wrecks and kills somebody, do we need a law for that, or do truck companies need to impose their own, internal policies that prevent that sort of thing from happening?
That's the way it should happen, because their insurance is going to cut them off. They've got it. The marketplace has the necessary incentives to disincentivize people to do stupid things behind the wheel if they're a professional. And ultimately, it's only a small portion of these people. These are professional drivers. They're some of the best drivers on the roads. Usually, it's the other people who are the problem, not the truck drivers, not the professional drivers. But if one guy has an accident, now all of a sudden everybody's got to jump through more stupid hoops.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And the next natural reaction of government will be to, if another one happens, well, we've got to make it even tighter. And the few truck drivers I've talked to about this, I mean, they basically live under a whole lot of stress.
They hate the government and their rules.
That doesn't come from driving the truck. It comes from trying to put up with all the other stuff they have to do.
Way stations, constant harassment by state police, the DOT pullovers. It just never ends for these guys. The regulations are just brutal on that industry.
But I would also say that I've held that same knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. If something happens, well, there ought to be a law. And I just think it's more we, the people, need to sit back and go, hold on, guys. Is this really going to solve it, or are we going to end up with the unintended consequences that we've had with truck drivers or that we've had with the war on drugs?
Yeah, it's always going to be
Right,
unintended
so
consequences. Go ahead, Bob.
Go ahead.
So you guys are suggesting that the truck company? I didn't want to get into truckers. I just was trying to make that
I understand.
Distinction with the laws the way they are, because we could go into cell phone use while driving and texting while driving.
Right. You know what? They did that here. Let's talk about that. They did that here in New Hampshire a few years ago. They created a no texting while driving rule, and you know what I see? All over the place. People holding their phone down in their lap now instead of holding it up over, if they were going to hold their phone before, while they were dialing a number or whatever, they might hold it up when it was legal. They'd hold it up above the dash, right? To where they could at least maybe see something in their peripheral vision. They could kind of see around the phone and see if something was coming at them. Now they're holding it in their lap, so they're looking down instead of looking out at the road, and it's even more dangerous now because they're trying to prevent themselves from being seen by the police. But I sit out here at a stop sign, and I see them doing it all the time, and I see it on the roads as well.
Looking at their crotch.
The time. It doesn't do anything. All it does, Bob, is it allows politicians to act like they're doing something.
Right.
So this is basically the idea that a politician will find a parade and then run out in front of it and act like they were there the whole time and that they're a leader of this thing. Oh my God, somebody got in an accident because of a cell phone. Well, we need a law, and I'm going to spearhead that. Now reelect me.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with safety. Thank you for the call, Bob. I appreciate it. Let's continue here. Douglas is on the line with us. Douglas, he is in, I forget where, but you're on the air. Douglas, go ahead.
From wherever you are.
Hello.
I'm in Pennsylvania.
All right. Hey, do me a favor. I don't know if you went back on your speakerphone, but you're a little distorted. Maybe back, if you aren't on your speakerphone, maybe just back away from your microphone a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. Is this better?
A little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to talk about tariffs, and Daryl did a pretty good job last night, but he missed a major thing, which is the disruption of the supply chain. So China, with the steel tariff, over the years, they've built far more capacity than they can use domestically.
Right.
Meanwhile, I had dinner with a guy several years ago who was an executive with U.S. Steel.
Right.
And he runs the Fairmont Works, that's north of Philadelphia.
Yep.
But they tore down that entire steel mill quite a while ago, and now it's an industrial park. And so he's a property manager, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, Pittsburgh is torn down all the steel mills.
Sure.
So we're all familiar with the I Pencil essay by Leonard Reed.
Well, I don't know if we're all familiar with it, but
but it's a great story, and it's short. You can read it. It's something that's simple enough you could read to your kids.
It sort of talks about the process of a product getting to market. Is that what it is?
The basic premise is that there's no one person on Earth that can make a pencil.
It takes a bunch of different people.
Right.
To do it.
It takes people that grow rubber trees in the tropics, and it takes people that mine graphite in deep mines, and it takes people to grow the wood for the trees and to plane and But it's a good point. It is a good point, particularly when we talk about tariffs. But go ahead.
Right. So now imagine I motorcycle.
Right.
I Harley Davidson more specifically, because we can get right to brass tacks with this.
Sure.
So they widened the Panama Canal a few years back, which means that China, with their cheap labor force willing to do the backbreaking work of manufacturing steel, plus the subsidized through socialism, the magic of socialism, of far more steel capacity than they can use. They're the best supplier of steel these days. U.S. Steel is no longer as much a steel company as they are a property management company.
Right.
So with Harley Davidson now, they're going to move their entire operation out of Pennsylvania to Europe. They've announced that because they can. And apparently, Trump went to the Harley Davidson plant and said, "I'm going to get your jobs back, and I'm going to make sure you don't lose your jobs." But what this tariff is doing, apparently, I read somewhere, 5 being lost. 1.
You're cutting out there. I do want to hear what you have to say. Hang on, Doug. We're going to bring you back here in just a moment. More on this Harley Davidson. I'd seen the headline, but I didn't get into the story on this, where Harley Davidson said, yeah, these tariffs are hurting us. We got to go, basically.
Yep.
Right? We'll hear more about it coming up here. Your calls and thoughts. Welcome. 855-450-FREE, like freedom, Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Visit blinkprotect.com, blinkprotect.com, all one word, blinkprotect.com, or go to amazon.com and search Blink Camera. Blink is an Amazon company. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. And the official Zencash wallet is available on Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com, zencash.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.fm now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in here. The toll-free number for you, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype And the Skype username is LRN.FM. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
As we continue, we'll take your calls about whatever's on your mind. You do need to know about Bitcoin.com. That's where you can go and learn about cryptocurrency. You might have heard about Bitcoin. Maybe you haven't taken the time to really learn what it's all about. Well, Bitcoin.com can help you with that. They can actually help you buy Bitcoin, BTC, or Bitcoin Cash, so you can get your first Bitcoin through them, if you like, over at Bitcoin.com. They got some useful tools. They got news headlines and more at Bitcoin.com. As we continue here, we're back. I'm going to go back to Douglas, who had called in about Trump's tariffs and hurting the economy, because that's what tariffs do.
Yep.
And you were giving us the example of what was happening with Harley Davidson. They're moving their factory out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And you kind of were breaking up there at the end of the segment. I wanted to make sure you had a chance to try a second time. So go ahead.
Okay, out of Pennsylvania to Europe.
Right.
And so at this point, I'm doing my best. You're breaking up a little bit on me as well.
You sound fine, so that's the good news. Go right ahead.
Okay. But what we have at this point is the Trump, the tariffs and everything. I have a bunch of buddies in the supply chain industry, and these guys are having to deal with the entire changes in the economy that are taking place, and this is just for the steel tariff. So we're not talking about anything else. And so where we go from here is that this ordinarily, when this type of change takes place, it's part of a market change. For example, when the big box stores started going down the tubes because Amazon was taken over, Amazon has only taken over 8% of the purchasing business at this point.
Okay.
And so by comparison, this is much worse. And what we're getting in this respect is that these guys are, all the supply chain people are scrambling around trying to figure out how to deal with just this one new tariff.
Right.
Wow.
And here's the thing. I mean, for anybody with an idea of what true free economies are supposed to operate like, what Trump is doing, and I want to be real clear on this because somebody will take issue with it, this is economic central planning online with any Politburo in any communist country. When you try to jigger the economy by throwing in falsely inflated costs, then you are central planning.
I don't know what happened to him there. I hope you're all right, brother.
Yeah, really.
I had to turn that down. Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying, Chris?
No, it's the same thing. You can seize means of production. That's socialism. You can cause the state to pick winners and losers through tariffs. That's socialism. And there's no difference. This is not being borne by the Chinese government. This is being borne on the backs of U.S. taxpayers. When you look at an increase of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle by a couple $1,000, that affects Harley-Davidson sales numbers. That's going to happen. And
makes them less competitive.
I think Harley-Davidson, they should be looking at what the tariff situations are in Mexico. Maybe they can produce Harley-Davidsons less expensive down there and not have some of those same tariffs through NAFTA. I mean, maybe that's a solution. I don't know. But it's trying to monkey with economies, and whether Democrats do it, whether Republicans do it, it's all bad.
Absolutely. The more rules, the more restrictions, the more taxes, tariffs put on business trying to just get a product to a consumer or get a service to a consumer, it's just more hoops that they have to jump through. And that means that fewer companies are going to be willing to even jump the hoops. It's at some point somebody's going to look and say, well, I would have started a motorcycle company, but it's just too onerous. The restrictions are too difficult. It's just not worth even starting.
So what do we do? Then you're going to see the marketplaces answer that. If there's a shortage of motorcycles because nobody's producing them here, great. Then the Japanese will come in with motorcycles. Well, they're selling more motorcycles here than we're selling over there. So we need a motorcycle tariff to retaliate, which again just increases the cost of motorcycles to the consumers and
to the U.S. consumer, the people in the United States. Sam's on the line in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys, and the guy that was just on and talking about Harley, moving out of Pennsylvania. That is not factual. That is wrong.
Okay. Why?
They said that they were thinking about building a plant in Europe and moving some of their stuff to Europe. They're not closing their doors. They're not, they're going to build a plant in Europe, and that guy should be ashamed of himself by getting on the radio and spread that propaganda.
Well, yeah. Okay. What I'm reading an article from USA Today that says Harley Davidson to move some motorcycle production out of the U.S. after EU tariffs. So
some, not all.
Yeah. Okay,
so but they are moving some. Are you going to say they're not moving any?
No, they're not. They're not closing their plant in Pennsylvania. Okay, that guy was wrong in what he said.
Well, I'll go out on a limb here.
They're going to have their plant in Pennsylvania and another plant probably in Europe somewhere.
Why do you think they'll choose to do that? I mean, there are a lot of good reasons. If they're closer to the market, that makes sense. But go ahead.
That's right. They could build a plant in Europe. They wouldn't have to have all these tariffs on their motorcycles, and they could have just like an automaker. You got automakers here in the United States building Japanese cars like Honda and stuff, and they got plants in Japan building plants. So,
but do you know why the EU?
What will I look for if I wanted to find this story? Because I'm looking right now to see if there's any kind of news story about no, Harley Davidson is not closing their plant in Philadelphia, and I'm not seeing it.
Well, actually, it's the York plant. Are you from? Where are you from?
I'm sorry, I searched for Pennsylvania. I always confuse Philadelphia with Pennsylvania, but I cannot find anything regarding them actually not closing this plant.
There's a huge plant in York, Pennsylvania. I know I've been by there. They also do golf carts, by the way.
Exactly. I got a friend that hauls Honda motorcycle, or not Honda, but Harley Davidson motorcycles, and they will not close that plant.
But I'll tell you what happens, and this is what happens when we get into trade wars. So the effect on the cost of a motorcycle that's made in America and shipped to Europe, the tariff, it increases from 6% to 31% because of Trump's tariff war with the Europeans on steel and aluminum. So if I were Harley Davidson and I say, man, we can't build them here and expect Germans to pay 31% more for the steel that's going into them, why don't we just build a plant over there? That's what's going to happen. And that means that jobs that may have been in York, Pennsylvania, which I used to live not far from, are now going to be in Dresden, Germany, or wherever.
Yeah,
you see what I mean?
I'm going to say, and thank you, Sam, for the call. I appreciate it. I'm going to say right now this is indeterminate. I can't really say for sure which caller is right about this. We're not sure. More coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
This is Jessica Armand, creator of the fluoride-free oral care brand My Magic Mud. You're going to love our new products. Our cutting-edge oral rinses deeply soothe your mouth and fight cavities naturally. Our breath spray, My Magic Mist, will invigorate your senses with essential oils of peppermint and eucalyptus. Our clinically proven toothpaste and tooth powders whiten your teeth and detoxify your mouth. Buy discounted bundles direct at mymagicmud.com and take 10% off with coupon code GCN10. mymagicmud.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
A new medical study on the effects of marijuana use confirms that everyone knows you're high and that you'll never stop feeling like this.
Everyone can smell the marijuana on your breath and on your clothes. Everyone is laughing at you.
Additionally, the in-depth report reveals that despite trying to act cool, you're definitely laughing too much and everyone is messing with you.
Your parents know you're high. Your friends know you're high. Strangers on the street know you're high. If you're young and you smoke marijuana, you will probably never be able to find a job. And if you're an adult, you will most likely be fired. If you hear a noise, that's probably the police, and you're probably going to jail.
While previous studies suggested that it's all good and that we're all made of the same stuff that makes stars, new research indicates that your brain got broken and you shouldn't have done this. Doctors say the study raises important questions such as, what if that wasn't just marijuana, and how are you going to get home?
This is the Onion News Network.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. Skype username's LRN.FM. Plus, our Discord on-air call-in line room for you over at discord.lrn.fm. If you want to reach people with the ideas of liberty, you can do it from the back of your car with libertystickers.com. You can reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker, or more than one. And you know people love to read them. Check out the vast selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages at libertystickers.com. Once again, libertystickers.com. We go to the phones to the fun. Dodger is on the line in Michigan, I think. Dodger, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello. First off, I wanted to make it a point to say that I have consumed cannabis at least twice during this radio program illegally, and I really don't care who knows about it. Well, I mean, it should be legal this November in Michigan. It should have been legal 2 years ago. But
Wait, is it
at
on
either
the ballot?
rate,
It's on the ballot in Michigan this November?
It should have been on the ballot 2 years ago. There was a big lawsuit in Michigan about how they collected enough signatures, but they still wouldn't allow it on the ballot. And yeah,
I thought I recognized that sound. There we go.
At either rate, I am so glad, and I'm talking to Chris right now, I am so glad that I found the ideas of liberty earlier in my life than you did, but you are so articulate about, I mean, really, I still have much to learn about you, even though I found the ideas of liberty earlier in my life. But at either rate, I took notes. Well, at either rate, I took notes, and a lot of notes. I actually wanted to talk about the guy that called in about the truckers. Now, it just so happens that I have a very close friend that is a retired trucker, and he did say that he keeps that as a trucker, he and every other trucker he knew kept 2 books.
Yep, I've heard that too.
And yeah, it was because it was just way too hard for him. Then there was a gentleman that called me a downstater, and he seemed kind of jealous that we get our tickets down here in southern Michigan from Alpena. I want to say he called from, right?
I don't recall.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, he called like a few segments ago. I've been on hold for a while, but at either rate, I mean, I'm a productive member of society. I go to work every day. So what if I smoke pot? I mean, is that really a big deal? I come home from a hard day's work. I mean, some people, they crack a beer. Yeah, I crack a beer, and I probably roll a joint.
Right.
I mean,
my God, you're mixing drugs together. The danger.
This is what he throws a sex toy into this, and then it's all over. Oh, jeez.
But I mean, I am one of the top guys at the place I work at. I actually, literally from the day except for when I got hit by a car and had to have surgery, I literally have perfect attendance there. Nice. I have never been late. I'm always 15 minutes early. I went into work with a broken arm.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that smoking cannabis doesn't make you a shiftless loser?
No.
Because that's what some people believe.
Right.
Some people actually believe that
smoking would have made me a shiftless loser.
Right.
But,
yeah. And if you're a bum and you smoke cannabis, you're still a bum, right? If you're a productive person and you smoke cannabis, you're still a productive person, likely.
Well, and the cannabis helped me get through my broken arm. I got hit by a friggin' car and had to have surgery on my arm.
Right.
Guess what? A week after surgery, I was back at work smoking cannabis every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not like I hit there and hit the bong before I go into work. No, I mean, I may pop an Advil before I go into work, but guess what? When I get home, I kind of need a little relief.
Right. Would you say that there is absolutely a responsible way to be a cannabis user?
Oh, yeah, I think
that's
I am
what he's
one.
doing.
You value your job. You're not going to do anything that's going to get you fired, right? It doesn't sound like it because you got good attendance.
Hell no, I wouldn't hit the bong before I went into work.
Right, but some people do, and some people also drink on the job.
Well, yeah.
But and that's not because there aren't laws against it. It's just because some people are responsible and some people are not.
I can't tell you how many times I've smoked pot out back at the radio station I worked at down in Florida. Hey, thanks for the call.
I hear pot's a big thing in radio, but
it's a big thing everywhere.
Rate, yeah.
Right.
I can't tell you how many pizza places, restaurants. I mean, ultimately, there are plenty of jobs where it's common for the workers to actually be on cannabis while they're on the job.
Drug test any restaurant worker. I am a restaurant worker. Drug test any restaurant worker, and guess what? All restaurants will close.
Yeah, you're out of your employees at that point. Hey, thanks, Dodger, for the call. I appreciate hearing from you.
I
mean, I used to know, there was a restaurant not restaurant, but a pizza place down in Florida when I was living down there. I knew somebody who worked at one. They'd all go out back and smoke together, the whole pizza crew.
I used to work in restaurants. I spent about 5 years in food and beverage, and it was without a doubt the hardest I ever partied in my life.
Oh, yeah, the hospitality people are
it was
very into that.
Yeah, it was weed, it was drinking, it was every day.
Every night.
Every night. It was fun.
Let's continue here. We've got Stefan in Ohio. He's on Skype. Hello, Stefan.
Hey, I might get a little emotional during this call, so heads up.
Okay.
All right. We're ready.
So I've decided New Hampshire is where I belong. The Libertarian Party here is corrupted and threw away hundreds of hours of my time.
Oh, no.
That's because I criticized Gary Johnson.
How did they throw away hundreds of hours of your time?
they're not going to certify me to be on the ballot.
Unreal.
So wait, you have to ask permission from the Libertarian Party in order to get on the ballot?
That does not sound very libertarian.
And because I criticized Gary Johnson, they are not certifying me.
Wow.
And I've decided you were right. The Libertarian Party really is unsalvageable.
Well, I was only talking about the national one, but I don't. Obviously each state party is its own entity, and I'm sure some of them are in bad shape as well. I think the Libertarian Party here in New Hampshire is doing a lot better than it certainly than it was. I was actually just at one of their conventions today. They had a second convention this year because they had so much of their party business to get done. And they did actually try to take somebody off the ballot this year. Actually, it was Daryl. So it wasn't officially the Libertarian Party who did it, but Daryl actually filed to get Tom, who is one of the actually semi-regular callers of this show, who had been kicked out of the Libertarian Party for advocating violence, allegedly, back in the 1990s. And Daryl actually went to the Ballot Law Commission to try to get Tom removed from the ballot, since he was claiming to be a libertarian when he'd been kicked out of the party.
Well, this affiliate is just mad because I agree. I've never advocated for aggression against anybody from the state.
Yeah.
But
this is a political difference, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I literally just criticized Gary Johnson on a Facebook group, and they've decided, oh no, we can't have that. Unity. So let's kick you off the ballot and make it so. Let's make it so you can't run.
God,
yeah, that's ridiculous. Well, the good news is I have criticized Gary Johnson. Daryl has criticized Gary Johnson, and we are both libertarians on the ballot coming up here this year. And nobody has said boo to us about that within this Libertarian Party. So I'll tell you that. So I'm sorry to hear that news. Welcome to politics. Most of it is a bunch of work thrown down a hole. Which is why I don't spend any time on my campaign. It's like I'm not going to spend.
You'll see me on Ferrybrook Road in a couple months.
All right, I don't know where that is, but thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Is Ferrybrook Road in New Hampshire? Or?
I'm sure it's somewhere relevant to us.
All right, more coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts in the remaining moments of Free Talk Live. Our number here 855-450 free like freedom 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. So far in 2018, the Innocence Network has welcomed 32 wrongfully convicted people home from prison for crimes they did not commit and had a record-breaking 850 people unite in Memphis at their annual conference. The movement of freeing the innocent and reforming the criminal justice system is growing and would not be possible without your support. Together as 68 network organizations around the world, they've helped exonerate 513 people who spent a combined total of 7,804 years in prison. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Are you living your passion? Are you pumped to go to work because you get to talk about or work with or do the things that interest you the most? Is working, playing, and relaxing one and the same? As long as you're working for someone else, you'll never be living entirely true to yourself and your passion. I'm Pharmacist Keith. Let me show you how you can work around your current schedule, create the extra income so you can live your passion. Visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com. radio.recordedvideo.com.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype. Skype username is lrn.fm. Our Discord on-air call-in line room is also available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Chris in the studio with you tonight. If you like what we do here on Free Talk Live, then please join the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com, ampamp.freetalklive.com. That is where you can join for $5 a month, and you get some perks. Now, remember, we told you earlier, you get all the stuff on our website for free. So webcam, archives that go back for more than a decade, all that stuff, all the features on the site, free. But if you want to help us, this is the way to do it. amp.freetalklive.com. You get some cool perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only podcast, which doesn't have the regular podcast commercials our normal podcast does. And you also get access to things like our AMP-only Discord chats as well. So head over to amp.freetalklive.com. You can join with credit card. You can join with PayPal. You can join with Bitcoin, BTC, over at ampamp.freetalklive.com. As we go to Vietnam, where Luke is on the line. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, I'm all about truth and accountability. Yesterday you said your name was not named on the FBI playpen warrant raid.
And you know what? I owe you an apology for that, Luke. I actually saw what you were calling about tonight, and I actually took the time to check the warrant because I had a copy of it here. You're referring to when the FBI raided the studios. It actually did have my name on it, but it wasn't in that I was being accused of something. It was that I had, opened the internet account at this particular location. So you were correct. I had it was not a lie because I just misrecalled what happened 2.5 years ago.
That's right. Now, the other thing is about censorship. Mark Edge made a statement that he intends to censor my YouTube channel, but I found an article on CopBlock, which you obviously are affiliated, which I'd like to refer to people to, which is on copblock.org. Got enemies. Here's how you can get the FBI to raid their house. Now, in that article is a link, quote, a link to a video made by a local hater from clips from a discussion on my radio show from years ago. In fact, the way it's written in first person, you would have wrote it. Yes, you did. And that video has been taken down with a copyright claim from Free Talk Live. So all your content you put out. Yes, it is.
Do you turn all intellectual property on me?
I have never made any kind of copyright claim against anything ever, so I don't know what it is you're referring to in this particular case.
Well, King Mark made a threat to do it to me and take down my YouTube channel, and I've only
Well,
put
I
up
don't
one
control
video
what
on
Mark does, and I don't support him if he's going to make copyright strikes against somebody else. I don't believe in copyright. I don't believe in intellectual property. And if Mark does something like that, I will firmly disagree with him for doing that, because I think that people should be free to talk trash if that's what they want to do. I've had so many people talk trash about me. I've had posters put up around downtown about me, and I've never done anything about it. Other people have gone and removed those posters, but I've never asked anyone to do that.
Speaking about talking trash, I've had people talking trash about me too, and you yourself referred to such said website.
Yeah, there's websites about you out there. I don't know what's true and what's not.
Yeah. The same deal. But here's the thing: I believe that I've been fighting against police corruption. I misspoke before. It wasn't Cop Block Australia. It was Cop Watch Australia.
I do not write for Cop Watch.
A Communist Party agent running it.
Yeah. I'm not associated with Cop Watch. I have done work with Cop Block in the past. I am one of the bloggers at the Cop Block website. But normally I'm blogging about, if I'm going to blog at Cop Block, it's about doing police accountability activism. So I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe there was some confusion.
Here's the thing. My whole saga started over police accountability. Okay. I'm the man accused of the rarest crime in Australia.
What's
if you
that?
Google 60C New South Wales Crimes Act, okay, only I and the government pretty much come up, apart from one little stunt against a brain-damaged Aboriginal teen in Port Macquarie, which was to detract from the real purpose of the law to take out whistleblowers. It's the crime of obtaining true personal information on a law enforcement officer. So I've been fighting police corruption, probably not as long as you, but definitely.
Well, then we have something in common then, Luke.
Well, and we also have things not in common, because I am an anti-pedophilia activist, and seeing that you're against censorship, and I am against censorship, can I tell your listeners to go to your Radio Archives website to get the same content in the video that Mark Edge, whoever controlling the official Free Talk Live YouTube account, did censorship via with a copyright claim? Can I say the date and time? It was which you said some things which really upset people. It was the 7th of January. 2010.
Yeah, I say upsetting things all the time. It's a talk radio show, so nobody's going to be surprised to hear controversial things on these airwaves. If you want to post a link to this ostensible takedown, I am curious to know more about it. You can do that on our Discord chat, where you have a special room all to yourself, basically. It's you and Mouth-Breathing Dullard have a very special room for toxic users. You're welcome to post the link in there, and I'm happy to take a look. And if it turns out that Mark is issuing copyright strikes using the official Free Talk Live account, if there's some way to verify that that's a true claim, I will definitely talk to him about it, because I don't want that to happen. I don't think that an organization or individuals within an organization that purports to be against intellectual property should be utilizing the copyright striking process. So if you're right about that, Luke, we'll check it out when you get the chance to share it with us. Thank you for the call tonight. As we continue here, Sarah in New Mexico, you're on Free Talk Live. I mean, that's what was it? Stefan Molyneux was a total hypocrite for doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
this was one of the big YouTube supposed libertarians who's sort of taken a turn towards fascism. It seems like recently has fallen in love with Trump, which is gross. But he used to be very, very anti-intellectual, against the idea of intellectual property. He spoke out against copyright, and then he used DMCA takedown notices against channels that were critical of him.
Right. Which it just makes no sense. And you either are, there aren't too many clearly cut black and white things you can look at that are as clear as intellectual property. You're either for it or you're against it. Right. There's no middle ground.
And you can't speak out of both sides of your mouth. You can't on one side say you're against intellectual property, and then on the other side you're filing takedown notices on things you don't like on the internet.
Politicians do.
Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yes. Did you know that there is a secret underground railroad from Albuquerque to Denver, Colorado?
Okay.
No, I met this guy. I was at the Circle K or something, a gas station, and I said, "Did you know they have underground bomb shelters?" And he said, "My dad worked on one of the underground railroads that goes from Albuquerque to
Okay, hold on.
Denver."
Let's talk about what the railroad is here, because normally when you say Underground Railroad, it evokes a picture of helping escape slaves in the South, and it was sort of describing a network of people who were not physically underground, but sort of underground in thought, right? Like they weren't revealing the fact that they were helping escape slaves. They were keeping them secret and helping move them through various different areas to safety, ultimately. Is that what we're talking about here, or are you talking about an actual tracks on a in an underground tunnel with a train on it, a choo-choo?
I'm talking about the actual train.
Okay, you're talking about an underground choo-choo train. Okay, this is news to me. So who's running this railroad, and what are they? What is the product, or that they're hauling?
My guess is drug cartels and cocaine.
That would be my
ahead.
guess, but I wanted to hear what Sarah would say.
Well, this is all part of the nuclear bomb shelters I was telling you about. And then remember Denver, Colorado, when they built that airport, it took forever. It took like 15 years.
Because the Illuminati was involved in that. I know what you're talking about. Let me tell you this, Sarah. I will say that Albuquerque certainly has underground bomb shelters built by the government, and you can tell where they're at because they have basically a radiation symbol, and you'll look for them on public buildings. They're all over the place. We have them here in New Hampshire. Every major city has them. It was just part of life in the 50s and 60s when they decided we had to defend ourselves by hiding.
Thanks for the call, Sarah. We're out of time for tonight, but you can always join us online between now and tomorrow night. As I said, we got our Discord chat that just goes on and on and on over at discord.lrn.fm. And between now and tomorrow night, join us at freetalklive.com. Download archives, do whatever you want. It's all free over there. See you tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, July 28th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.50 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,223 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $31, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,177. Antiwar.com reports the July 1st ceasefire declared over the Yemeni port city of Hodeidah appears over, with Saudi-led forces carrying out a series of strikes across the city, including major airstrikes in the center of the city, doing major damage. Warplanes hit a plastic factory, an outdoor market, and a fishing pier in the city's center. Another strike targeted a Houthi military police camp in the city. There was substantial damage to buildings reported, but as yet no reports of casualties. During the ceasefire, Saudi-led forces attacked a series of towns further south of the port city, through which 70% of all food and humanitarian aid enters Yemen. The ceasefire was intended to give the UN time to negotiate a deal to prevent the city's invasion. Officials have yet to discuss what exactly happened and why the ceasefire ended. The UN has tried to get the Shiite Houthis to give the city to the UN, which they'd agreed to do. Saudi-backed Yemeni forces, however, objected to this plan, saying they'd only allow the UN to take the city if the rebel Houthis surrendered the entire rest of the country. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a former Alaska Airlines pilot began his one-year prison sentence this week after pleading guilty to flying while intoxicated. David Hans Arnsten of Newport Beach, California, had previously pled guilty to one felony count of operating a common carrier while under the influence. He will also pay a $10,000 fine as part of a plea deal he made with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Central District of California in February. In 2014, Arnsten flew a plane from Portland, Oregon to John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California. After landing, Alaska Airlines randomly selected him for a drug and alcohol test. Two breathalyzer tests showed he had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.134% and 0.142%. The plea agreement stated those percentages were well above the federal limit of 0.04% for pilots. At the time, Arnsten said he had not been drinking and had only had a few sips of beer the night before the morning flight. The Orange County Register reported he also said he was taking antibiotics, but prosecutors said that was a lie. U.S. Attorney Nicola T. Hanna said in a statement, "This defendant was at the controls during hundreds of flights carrying innumerable passengers, undoubtedly under the influence of alcohol during many of those trips. Fortunately, he was finally caught and the risk to passengers was stopped." Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. That's weusecoins.com. Reuters reports a federal judge on Friday rejected a last-ditch effort by gun control groups to block the Trump administration from allowing the public to download blueprints for 3D printable guns, declining to intervene just days before the designs are expected to go online. U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman in Austin, Texas, denied the request for an order by the Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence, Everytown for Gun Safety, and the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence at a hearing, saying he would state the reasons for his decision and a written order to follow. At the hearing, the judge said he was sympathetic to the gun control group's concerns, but questioned their legal standing to intervene in the case. The group sought to intervene following a June settlement between Defense Distributed and the U.S. government, allowing the company to legally publish gun blueprints online, something its website says it plans to do by August 1st. The government ordered the blueprints taken down in 2013, and Defense Distributed founder Cody Wilson sued in 2015, claiming his First and Second Amendment rights had been violated. The federal government had until recently argued the blueprints posed a national security risk. Gun control groups said there had been no explanation for the June settlement and the administration's abrupt reversal on the issue. Wilson, a self-declared anarchist, said in an online video that the blueprints had been downloaded more than 400,000 times before having been taken down in 2013. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
This year's Coachella Music Festival is happening right now. And that means one thing, the largest gathering of contact jugglers in the world. All the biggest names from the sea juggling scene are performing all over the festival, including Mr. Tomorrow, Isis, White Angel, Chad Brunstein, and of course, the legendary Conundrum. Our own Lena Perez is live at Coachella.
This music festival is a who's who of org masters and jugglemen.
What have the highlights been so far?
Well, Yasu Kaitu did his first stateside performance in 3 years over by the Smoothie Tent, which was amazing. And there was festival favorite Hans Hansman freestyling in his usual spot near the portable toilets. But I'm really excited for Becca Flannery Miller. She's 4'5", wears transition lenses, and is a master of the multi-ball.
I love her. And I heard there was a surprise late night set from the Winterhorn Brothers.
Yeah, right outside the DJ tent. It was an unbelievable flurry of spheresmanship.
I wish I was there.
This is the Onion News Network.